If this is what he looks like only gently using his strength on a real person, would you take him on in a fight? This is why you never want to mess with a wrestler, as this guy has the most dangerous strength you will ever see. But if you thought taking down a dummy was impressive, this is what he looks like only gently using.
Why do people cut their swimming pools instead of just draining them? It may look crazy.
Watch this video carefully as it could save your life. This man is stuck in quicksand and his legs sink up to his knees in just seconds. At first, he tries to pull out one of his legs, but that's exactly what you shouldn't do, because doing so will make you sink even deeper. Instead, slowly lean forward, lift one knee at a time, then the other, and crawl out slowly on your knees. Watch this video carefully as it could save your life. This man is stuck in quicksand and his legs sink up to his knees in just seconds.
When none of the fruits in this man's garden were ripe, he brought a JCB with him, and as soon as he opened a collector sheet under the tree, the fruits started falling. But unfortunately, when he closed the umbrella, there wasn't a single fruit inside. But still, he didn't give up, and shook the tree again, ending up getting thousands of fruits. When none of the fruits in this man's garden were ripe, he brought a JCB with him, and as soon as he...
This is a perfect gift for people with stressful jobs. At first, you might think it's a pack of cigarettes, but once you light one up, it turns out they are actually bubble wands. This way, you can release stress without harming your lungs. This is a perfect gift for people with stressful jobs. At first, you might...
Look, this guy made a huge mistake, and he almost got fired for it, because he had to paint the whole...
This lady made a huge mistake by placing stones near the pool because the kids kept throwing them into the water again and again, and she got tired of taking them out. So she brought a strange liquid from the market, which she carefully filled inside a sprayer, and without waiting for anyone started spraying it all over the stones while leveling them properly. And
People trust confidence, not truth. If someone speaks calmly and without hesitation, your brain assumes they're right. Manipulators don't argue facts.
Why do celebrities wear the most expensive dresses on the red carpet? Most of them make sure they wear something no other artist has ever worn, even if it doesn't really fit them. Like how Kim Kardashian wore Marilyn Monroe's dress, or when she wore a full mask just to look unique. But the only one who doesn't care and wears whatever she wants is Lana Del Rey. She wore a dress that everyone assumed.
Watch this. This person is pouring basin after basin of water onto the snow, using snow and water to slowly build an ice slide step by step.
this is what happens when American schools banned backpacks for a day. And the reason surprises everyone. American schools started a trend where you bring anything but a backpack to class, and students went crazy.
This guy makes some of the creepiest face masks you've ever seen. At first, it's just a rough copper mask that looks warped and unfinished. Then the design suddenly improves and becomes much smoother.
This is a unique sport you've probably never seen before, where competitors slice through a paper target 3 times, earning points for clean cuts and accuracy near the line, testing their precision, control, and technique with a sword, which are the same skills once tied to survival and combat, now living on through...
When the teacher asked everyone to make a school project, he didn't expect it to go this far. One student made an awareness project showing how this habit can...
This girl tried to speed up her braces treatment and ended up locking her mouth completely. The doctor had told...
People on the internet were confused after seeing this coach mess...
This is Nikolai, and people call him a real-life NPC because his job is doing perfect robot moves while dressed as TV characters. But he got so obsessed that he...
Mira cómo estas chicas por querer verse más alta.
Worried his toddler would have a meltdown during a long flight, this dad came up with a genius hack. He bought a pound of mixed red and green beans for her to sort. The results were unbelievable. From takeoff to landing, she was completely locked in, sorting the beans one by one with total focus. She didn't make a single peep the entire time. Other passengers were stunned by how chill she was, and even the flight attendants were impressed. Meanwhile, the dad, he slept like a baby the whole... When the woman was pouring Coke, it accidentally spilled. That's when the man suddenly had an idea. He grabbed a Pringles lid and placed it.
People got angry at this runner after he finished first in this ultramarathon, because when this other runner who finished second...
Look, if this guy manages to spin this wheel and stop it exactly on the number 1,000, he'll win $1,000. But if the wheel goes even slightly past 1,000, he'll lose. That's why he didn't push it too hard or too slowly, but spun it with just the right amount of force.
When this boy won the race, the staff made a big mistake because no one expected the winner.
Whatever you do, don't walk through this shape. This guy couldn't understand why nobody was going through this attraction, so
You won't believe this. Vietnamese farmers earn millions by releasing rabbits into their fields. When banana plants are planted, rabbits are released at the same...
This hammer tests if you're brave, but it's secretly dangerous. In this challenge, all you have to do is hold on.
This is why Tennessee has 6 people protecting their goalposts every time they play Alabama. Because when fans storm the field after beating the Crimson Tide,
This girl drew a fake wound on her hand with a red pen just for fun. Before long, the entire class started copying her and acting like a gang.
What you are seeing is how the workers' speed increased tenfold the moment they found out that Modi G was coming to use this swimming pool the next day. First, they cleaned all the dirt and waste from inside the pool.
This biker found a free quad, but it's a trap. He quickly threw the sign away and got on the quad to investigate, but he felt like somebody was watching his every...
Bro, this restaurant is seriously scamming people. Look at this cup. It looks big and full-sized from the outside, right? But when she peeled off the sticker and opened it, everyone was shocked. Inside, there was just a tiny cup. What a joke. Bro, this restaurant is...
In Japan, they have a pool filled with wine, but it's secretly dangerous. The rules are very simple. First, you get a new bottle of wine poured all over.
People were confused when this athlete made a simple mistake during the transition checkpoint, because when he was trying to be the fastest man switching from cycling to running, he wasn't paying attention to his bike's position. You see, just as he was leaving the checkpoint, the bike...
This is the most famous Japanese gum. When this man bought it and brought it home, he found something resembling a small notebook inside the box. At first, he thought...
Did you know that Indians can't stop shaking their heads while talking? Take this guy.
This girl is sitting casually enjoying her food while chatting with her mom, but she has no idea that there are 2 little viewers who keep staring at her without blinking even for a moment.
This grandpa lost his parents at just 4 years old, and the only thing he had left from his mother was a cookie jar he treasured for life. But after a hurricane destroyed his home, the jar was lost. Then, right before his last Christmas, his daughter found the exact jar and gave it to him, calling it the best gift he ever received.
Everyone was confused by this guy's strategy at a lumberjack contest. As soon as it started, he didn't move at all, while the other competitors were already far ahead. He was carefully thinking,
"This kid is amazing. Her body moves before she even thinks, and even experienced adults would struggle to match her skill. Her flexibility allows her to master Kung Fu effortlessly, bending and twisting like a trained pro. Power flows through each motion naturally, with every stance landing perfectly and..."
This video went viral when this family tried the...
Look, this is how the life of truck drivers in China is. There are no helpers with them, so they usually bring their family or their wife along. When the driver gets tired, he lies down to rest while his wife drives the truck. And it's not like anyone can just drive these trucks. First, they have to remove the previous driver's card and insert...
Look, everyone told this girl not to join the race because she didn't even have legs, but this boy still...
In China, this girl constantly runs into human statues. So to test whether they're real, she sticks her finger right into their mouth. And if they still don't react, she casually sips her juice in front of them before suddenly pouring it straight into the statue's mouth. That's when she realized this one wasn't a statue at all. It was a real man standing perfectly still. In China, this girl constantly runs into human statues. So to test whether they're real, she sticks her finger right into their mouth. And if they still don't...
Remember Samuel? The guy who can stick to any surfaces no matter what? Well, his hands became so rough that people started suggesting he should start...
After a deadly car accident, this girl couldn't walk or stand on her own. And during this difficult time, her husband...
Oh my god, Dad! Why are you locking your mouth after eating the biscuits?
Your mom ordered me to...
Looking at this guy, you'd think his job is all fun. But
in Korea, even when the subway is extremely crowded, no one will casually sit in this seat. And this applies to both men and women. Korean subway cars have long been equipped with these pink seats, and if you sit on one by mistake, you'll most likely be politely asked to stand up. That's because these seats are strictly reserved for pregnant women. In Korea, even when the subway is extremely crowded, no one will casually sit in this seat. And this applies to both men and women. Korean subway cars have long been equipped with these pink seats, and if you sit on one by mistake, you'll most likely be politely asked to... When this guy discovered a forbidden fighting move by throwing...
these girls showed up for their flight only to find out they were the only passengers on a one.
Look, this guy thought completely differently from the rest of the world, and because he didn't have a house of his own, he turned his van into a home. Inside, everything is built just like a real house, from the wash basin to the bathroom. The most special thing is that you can take it anywhere you want, and there is also a bed made inside to sleep at night. Still, you didn't like it. Look, this guy thought...
This is a high-risk job that few people know about. Every time a concrete mixer truck driver...
Thank you very much.
This athlete wasn't supposed to make this far. You see, for decades, experts believed the human body had a hard limit. No one was supposed to leap beyond 18 meters in the triple jump, and it was considered physically impossible. But at the 1995 World Athletics Championships, Jonathan Edwards shattered that belief on his first attempt, flying 18.16 meters past the sand, and minutes later, he did it again, pushing it even farther to 18.29 meters a world.
This boy surprised everyone. During a wrestling match, he left people confused by standing completely...
If a MotoGP rider gets thirsty in the middle of a race, how do they drink water? Don't think they stop at the pits to drink, because there are no pit stops for this. They ride continuously for 45 minutes at a speed of 300. On top of that, the temperature inside their suit can reach 60 degrees. So of course they get thirsty. That's why they have a small water pouch built into their suit. But the strangest part is that most riders don't even drink it, because it distracts them. This is why most people don't realize how impressive this workout is until they watch to the end. At first, it looks like the guy...
This rich man always cheats in marathons by standing on a motorized cart and just waving his arms like he's running at full speed. While real runners are exhausted and dying, he's coasting along pretending to be tired. When his cameraman checks the footage, he bursts out laughing at how ridiculous it looks. This rich man always cheats in marathons by standing on a motorized cart.
This guy had 3 attempts to win this challenge, but he lost every single time because of the same exact mistake. And the goal isn't just to build speed, it's stopping before this mat ends completely. And even though he slows down, he steps off before fully stopping, which costs him the win. But in his final attempt, he finally does it perfectly and stops on a dime. And there are more participants who attempt it, but they all failed the challenge too. Do you think you could stop perfectly on the mat? This guy had 3 attempts to win this challenge, but he lost every single time because of the same exact mistake. And the goal isn't just to build speed, it's stopping before this mat ends completely. And even though he slows down, he steps off before fully stopping, which costs him the win. But in his final attempt, he finally does it perfectly and stops on a dime. And there are more participants who attempt it, but they all failed the challenge too. Do you think you could stop perfectly on the mat? This guy had...
Who's your favorite? No, bro. Alright, who's your favorite?
This uncle taught his nephew to say he is his...
These Filipino students were showing off their dream careers in a parade. Nurses, teachers, seamen, even police officers. But then comes this one student. What he's wearing will leave you speechless. You have to see it to believe it.
Muchos pensaron que esta chica estaba loca por tejer lana alrededor de las 4 patas de una mesa en invierno durante 7 días.
La mejor rutina que vas a ver en tu vida para los femorales y la...
Cuando estos tipos quisieron unir el río con el mar, this teacher gave his students the strangest ice skating challenge, and it was way more dangerous than it looked, because each of them had to skate off the ice like nothing happened. The first boy tried and nearly fell. The second and third pulled it off with style. Then the fourth surprised everyone by skating off in reverse. And when the last boy gave it a try, nobody could decide who really won. So comment who did it best. This teacher gave his students the strangest ice skating challenge, and it was way more dangerous than it looked, because each of them had to...
This guy has cat-like reflexes. Whenever he tosses...
This kid instantly turned his whole team into fans. With the score tied and only 2 seconds left, he made a move that stunned everyone watching.
I've made a huge mistake.
This kid instantly turned his whole team into fans. With the score tied and only 2 seconds left, he made a move that stunned everyone watching.
I've made a huge mistake. In F1, it takes on average 1.5 minutes.
This single dad might be super smart. He took his daughter to try Money Claw machine to win a prize, but when it was his turn, the claw accidentally grabbed a...
Remember KB Lame, the silent genius who looks lame? Well,
all his hard work felt pointless when a wave hit the little channel he built right there at the beach. He thought the next wave...
This is why Kenyan runners always dominate long distance races, because even though this guy is among the top 1% marathon athletes on the planet, you can see
This 96-year-old grandpa was always alone, so his neighbors...
This boy was tired of being bullied by his huge older brother. When his patience snapped...
Why does this woman collapse every time she crosses the finish line? As soon as officials see her getting close, they rush forward ready to catch her. Many people say she should quit and claim this sport is not for her. But the truth is very different. While she is running, her blood pressure rises extremely high. The moment she stops at the finish line, it drops suddenly. That rapid change is what... Look at this! This is an amazing invention called a cart return system. When someone uses a luggage cart at an airport or station, they have to pay a small deposit fee. When they return the cart to this machine, they get their money back. This way, carts aren't left scattered everywhere and are all collected in one place. Look at this!
Nobody expected this random street corner to turn into a world-class boxing arena. This guy stepped up to the machine and everyone started laughing until they saw his form.
This is concrete evidence of the powerful water pressure in the deep sea. When divers descend to...
This guy achieved financial freedom with one simple move. In reality, he's an unconventional street artist who creates art on windows using brushes and his hands. Some people view his actions as vandalism, but his creations have a unique visual style. This has led luxury brands to commission...
This is the difference between a professional and a newbie golfer. Both were walking near a pond when they saw a crocodile just chilling there. The noob saw it and ran for his life, but the pro stayed calm and did...
He's the richest man in Dubai, the one who ever lived. Just write the amount you want and he'll send it to you. His name is Jean-Jacques Goldman. He's neither a singer nor a civil servant. He's something else, a living legend. Gold for him is like...
This kid just turned himself into the school's hero because when he kicked this ball sending...
They pranked their roommate by sealing off his room with drywall after he left for vacation, and his reaction when he came back was hilarious.
This smart guy noticed the water slide wasn't running at all. It looked so dry that no one could even move on it, so he...
Esto no es un Pokémon ni un...
Look, this boy has so many cars that he doesn't even know which one to drive today, so he played the bottle game. The key where the bottle stops will be the car he drives. The bottle spins and stops on a black key, and he happily grabs that key and leaves.
But this guy makes you panic every time he shoots the ball, because this unemployed dude built a basket at the 50th floor.
I smell the watermelon, I bite the rind.
I smell the watermelon, I bite the watermelon.
Hey, crazy, you ate the watermelon by mistake.
This baby panda actually came up with the best...
People roasted this NASCAR pit stop because when they saw how slow the crew was working, they immediately compared it to Formula One. But there's an important reason it looks slower. In NASCAR, only 5...
This might be the smartest training method ever created. To fix his athlete's habit of standing up too early, the coach built a low ceiling.
The person who crossed this pool was going to get $13,000. Seeing this, a woman starts running but falls on the way. When her second sister sees this, she starts running too. And as soon as her foot slips, she also falls face down.
This kid has just proven that you can win a wrestling match using nothing but a stare. He has mastered the art of intimidation to the point where his opponents become instantly terrified.
These number blocks look normal at first, but something interesting happens when you place them next to each other, because you can instantly see which number is bigger. For example, 6 plus...
Hey little man, nice phone case. Is that where you keep your Roblox allowance? Nah, it's where I keep my win streak. 7 wins in a row? Okay, that's cute. Cute? Nah, it's like...
An experienced parkour athlete focuses more on staying balanced than moving.
This man plays basketball on extremely difficult because whenever ball misses the basket means there's good chance the ball...
This guy made a live photo wall, and this is how it looked like. First, he placed these picture frames on the screen where he wanted the photos to be.
This man challenged himself to attempt one of the planet's most unusual competitions, following a...
When this kid got the chance to play catch with Caleb Williams, his friend wasn't paying attention and accidentally did something that left everyone speechless. When this kid got the chance to play catch with Caleb Williams, his friend wasn't paying.
This are some of the weirdest, most genius speed bump designs around the world. First is the active speed system in Sweden. It uses a radar to detect if a car is speeding and sends a signal to lower the speed.
This guy figured out a way to always get a seat on the subway. Before the train even stops at the station, he gets ready and squeezes between the doors like Spider-Man, but with the power of the seat.
This guy made a big mistake.
This guy figured out a way to always get a seat on the subway.
This guy made a big mistake. He saw what looked like a super expensive Rolex watch on the ground. He thought it was worth like $60,000, so he had a smart idea. He started
This guy doesn't even realize what a huge mistake he's making, because what he's doing could literally be the last mistake of his entire life. What he's running on is called a damn spillway, also known as the gates to heaven, because if anyone falls inside, death is basically guaranteed. These holes are over 7.
Right as two tourists in Thailand were about to go parasailing, things got tense. A crew member was hanging off the parasail with no safety gear, and before anyone realized it, they were already flying.
If a MotoGP rider gets thirsty in the middle of a race,
this is why you never give Red Bull to the guy who watches too much anime.
This Coca-Cola machine doesn't ask for money, it asks for a hug. If you hug it the right way with music playing, a cold drink comes out for free. This unique vending...
Look, this big guy made a big mistake after hopping into his cute mini car.
Many people still don't know that this is the smartest way to eat any pizza, because when his wife told him that she wanted to lose weight, he created a simple trick to make it lose almost half its calories.
If you don't know what you're doing, and you're holding a card that looks nice, and for all...
This mom and her son ate 12 cookies because they tasted too good. But what she noticed after watching the video again was unbelievable.
This is why you should never judge someone by their appearance, because when the coach held a backflip challenge at the wrestling academy, everyone was showing off their... Look, this guy dropped marbles in the bathroom, and now these marbles will decide whether he gets paid or not, because if all the marbles roll their way to the drain, it means the bathroom won't get flooded, but if even one marble gets stuck in between, he won't get paid until the slope is fixed. Look, this guy dropped...
Good day, I'm Jerome Ramos.
Look, these girls bought these tall heels from Japan, but it's not just a simple heels, because when you're tired, you can sit on them anywhere you want, and you don't even need a chair. They are not even that expensive, and everyone liked the video when they saw how useful they were. Look, these girls bought these tall heels from Japan, but it's not just a simple heels, because when you're tired, you can sit on them anywhere you want, and you don't even need a chair.
People laughed at this guy when he claimed he could jump over 100 water cups, so he chose to show them the truth. First, he warmed up his legs and began with just 2 cups. As he slowly added more,
Never underestimate someone obsessed with basketball. At first, everyone thought he was just an injured player because he kept shooting on one leg. But when he unzipped the cover under his shorts, the entire
journey to break through the dome is the journey from illusion to reality.
This biker was riding past a homeless camp when something terrifying happened.
Hello, sorry. Dude has a machete. I don't look too enthused. Hello.
Just when you thought the situation was over, the biker found out that he had to go back the same way if he wanted to get out of the drainage.
Mom, this heat is unbearable. I'm so thirsty. Can you bring me a glass of juice?
Yes, son. Look, the juice is almost ready.
Ugh, Mom, that looks gross. I don't want that juice.
All right, son. Just wait a moment. With this gadget, I can make you any juice you want in just seconds.
Everyone who wants this gadget, leave a like. Mom, this heat is unbearable. I'm so thirsty. Can you bring me a glass of juice?
Yes, son. Look, the juice is almost ready.
Ugh, Mom.
This bed could save your life because the second it
I work for a top secret research unit. My boss asked me to deliver a file to Celeste Judd. She's my older sister. This guy I work for a top secret research unit. My boss asked me to deliver a file. This guy charges thousands to prepare this dish. If you think it's a joke, let me tell you, he's the only chef in the world who cooks fish and removes each and every...
This man has incredibly sharp instincts. When he moved to pick up a basketball, he thought everything was normal. But the moment he got close, his instincts sensed danger. Is this liquid really stronger than concrete? Instead of mixing or curing, this foam is poured straight into place and expands to fill every gap. Within minutes, it hardens into a solid support that locks everything in. Its water-repellent chemistry seals the wood.
People said this guy deserved not 1 but 2 medals because the moment he crossed the finish line, the officials asked him to go back and complete.
When Scottie Pippen hid the game ball behind his back during free throws, the refs started panicking because that ball is irreplaceable. Unlike other sports where fans can keep the ball as a souvenir, NBA game balls go through a special process.
After a rainy day, this guy saw an uncovered manhole and was worried a kid would fall into it.
These siblings filled a glass.
His parents couldn't afford to buy him a Messi jersey, and the boy started crying in the...
Ever notice hockey players bending or smashing their sticks before the game starts? Tiny Puppy was stuck at the bottom of a deep concrete drain, crying for help. The walls were too steep to climb, and he was completely tired. A group of strangers...
Same weight, but different training. In the photo below,
When this boy went to Dubai, he noticed something strange moving under the sand. Curious, he lit a match and this little boy was trying to build a tower, but it collapsed and he felt like giving up. But his dad stepped in to save the day. He started stacking the wooden blocks in a gravity-defying shape. He carefully balanced every piece on a single point. One small mistake and it would all fall down again. The boy watched with his eyes wide. Look, this girl got lost and ended up high in the mountains. The road was fully covered in snow, so nothing ahead was clearly visible. In the freezing cold, she used her hands to shape a heart in the snow. Then she carefully lifted the frozen heart with both hands. The heart looked so beautiful, but she was sad because no one gave...
Look at this. This boy would have never thought that putting a pipe in the drain would cost him so much. This girl has to cross this drain to go to her house, which made both her legs dirty in the water. But this Scooty boy sees all this and immediately rolls a pipe and brings it near the drain. Then he puts that pipe inside the drain and fills both sides of the drain properly with soil so that the...
Have you ever seen a shower at school that you're not allowed to use?
When this guy decided to get away from his wife, he decided to build a perfect ice island. But people called him crazy, saying it wouldn't work because he would just...
No one can beat this man at pool. No matter where the balls...
What you know, this bitch is giving... He thinks that his training is hard because every time he's training, he has to have a quick reaction so that he can save the shot. But his training was needed for this shot.
A command economy is superior to a free...
Why is someone stopping this young girl from skating? But she's actually a professional, and this is part of her high-intensity training routine. A resistance band is secured around her waist, turning every push into a battle. The drill boosts her power, speed, and explosiveness, pushing her to the edge. Training like this helps her reach speeds close to 50 kilometers per hour. But once the band snaps free, you won't believe how fast she takes off. I'll show you. But first, who's your favorite football player? If it's Ishao speed, leave a like. If it's Messi, hit subscribe.
This weapon could knock a rider off a horse, but how ninjas used it will shock you. Makibishi, the Iron Diamond, was a brutal creation because no matter how you drop it, it always lands with the sharp points facing up. Despite its normal use as a trap throwing it behind you or tossing it at someone to distract them, it was also used in close combat when there was no other option. However, even when improvised and stacked together with a rope, it could easily deal deadly damage or immobilize the enemy. This weapon could knock a rider off a horse, but how ninjas used it will shock you. Makibishi, the Iron Diamond, was a brutal creation.
This man went to the barbershop to get a haircut and took the opportunity to ask them to remove his wart. The barber complied and wrapped a thread around the spot. After a few turns, he told the man that the wart would fall off in a few days. The only problem is that
Look, when this tour guide poured water on the sand, everyone was confused, wondering what he was trying to do. But after the sand soaked in the water, he added a layer of dry sand and repeated the process again and again. Once the layers stacked up, he carefully dug around.
Look, this dad wants to explain to his daughter that paintings sold for millions don't necessarily require hard work day and night, but rather a unique idea, and he's about to prove it to her. However, the little girl's...
When this young boy decided to give his competitors a head start in a wood chopping competition,
this guy invented the most dangerous bed in the world. At first glance, it looks like a completely normal bed, but underneath it has many sharp spikes. It was specially designed for kids who don't sleep and also don't let others sleep. As soon as a dummy lies down on it, the spikes immediately stab into the...
At first glance, this looks like a normal tiled wall, but it's...
Why is this guy's ear being pulled after the race? You might think they're checking for an injury, but they're doing this for a completely different reason, as MotoGP bikes are so loud that without earplugs, the riders risk losing their hearing. But sometimes the...
Why are there so many animals? No, seriously! Alright, Plan Z. I hope I fueled the thrusters. Rocket mode. Go. 3.
This skier is so good that the moment she crossed the finish line, she had no idea what she had just done, and an Olympic cameraman had to be the one to tell her.
Do you know why players waste so much ammo in paintball games? It might look like they're shooting randomly, but there's a real reason behind it.
Did Americans build a weapon so unfair it should have been a war crime? While standard knives are survival tools, the punch dagger was forged for a darker purpose. Because of its T-shaped geometry, this blade cannot be disarmed, dropped, or even used for anything other than a slaughter.
Why do you still post if...
When these two dogs fought over a chew, instead of splitting it evenly, the owner gave the black dog a much smaller piece, which made him very sad. The next day, the owner did this.
This guy works in construction, where he has to carry cement.
That's why you should never give up.
Oh yeah.
Navy SEALs are elite forces trained to operate in any environment, and
this little boy lost his father years ago.
When this kid got the chance to play catch with Kyron Wood.
Never pull this handle more than once. It's not an ordinary lever, but a counter installed on Mount Elbrus in Russia. Climbing this mountain is extremely challenging, and by tradition, anyone who reaches the summit pulls the handle only a single time. Anyone who pulls it more than once distorts the true number of successful summit climbs. Never pull this handle more.
In paintball, some players accidentally waste their ammo without realizing it. This usually happens because they carry several pods of paintballs, and when they try to reload quickly, especially if a pod is placed upside down, the lid can pop open and the balls spill all over the ground. The feed opening on top of the marker also makes reloading tricky. If the player isn't careful, the paintballs can miss the hopper, fall out, and get completely wasted. In paintball,
people said this athlete is not human because in this triathlon event, when he was already over a minute behind the entire field after the swimming part,
this club made you bleed to death without a single drop of visible blood. The Kanabo. This 30-pound spiked war club was a brutal...
This boy had no idea what was about to happen when he threw his net into the river at noon. He thought the water was calm.
During a night shift, these nurses decided to practice a TikTok challenge. The problem is that several patients were desperately asking for help in their rooms, but they weren't assisted because they were doing something more.
When this girl tore off the book cover...
To see how big of an umbrella it would take to save him from falling, this guy started with the smallest one, and it didn't work. Then he tried a slightly bigger umbrella, but he still fell. Even with a large umbrella, he couldn't stop.
Why is it that no matter how sharp a katana looks, it still can't cut even a piece of paper? In reality, a katana...
Everyone online laughed at this guy for his weird training routine, calling it pointless, and joking he was just training to annoy his neighbors. But instead of clapping back, he went quiet, doubled down, and locked in completely, and walked away.
Ever wondered why there are luxury cars embedded in the fences of homes in China? Most people think it's just a way to flex their wealth, but
This guy decided to say goodbye to his massive beard in a shocking transformation. He carefully runs the clippers through the thick hair, watching huge chunks of beard.
Was streaming an adult movie on the living room screen when, just as things were getting intense, I heard a rustling at the front door. At first, I thought it was a neighbor. Then, a key slid perfectly into the lock, and the door opened. In the dim light, I could only make out a blurry silhouette. It was a woman, and she had an incredible figure. Who are you? What are you doing in my apartment? Who are you? We both spoke at the same time.
Despite being tiny and...
Was streaming an adult movie on the living room screen when...
Despite being tiny and looking incredibly simple, the way ninjas used this weapon was unbelievably cunning. It's called the Makabishi, also known as the Iron Caltrop. The clever thing about its design is that no matter how it lands, one sharp point...
Most people can't last more than 2 seconds before giving up. This is the tilt in Chicago, which allows visitors to lean up against the glass at a 30-degree angle. It might look easy, but when you're leaning, it feels like you're about to fall out of the building. This gives people a butterfly feeling.
How does the tallest family in the world match up against the tallest man of all time? The youngest son is 5 feet 8 inches and was barely up to his waist, but their daughter, who's 5 feet 9 inches... How does the tallest family in the world match up against the tallest man of all time? The youngest son is 5 feet 8 inches and was barely up to his waist, but their daughter, who's 5 feet 9 inches, couldn't... The moment when a U.S. elite... The woman with the black ponytail prepares to dodge the man's throat. How does the tallest family in the world match up against the tallest man of all time? How does the tallest family in the world match up against the tallest man of all time? The youngest son is 5 feet 8 inches and was barely up to his waist, but their daughter, who's 5 feet 9 inches, couldn't believe how...
Ever wonder why some countries ban silk? If you lift up a bird's feathers, you might see something that looks like a tiny tube hiding. When the owner lifts it with tweezers, a white shell-like case appears. This is a pin feather, and it's a new feather that comes out tucked in a hard...
Oh wow, I have a really cool gun!
Your gun is really useless. I'll break it. You can't even buy a nice gun.
Oh my god, that naughty Jimmy broke the little girl's toy gun. Let me quickly make a toy gun using this piece of wood. No matter what, I have to make a toy for that girl today.
Do you know the reason why Turkish ice cream is so hard?
Why is this guy risking his life just to get honey? He climbs massive...
People were confused when this athlete made a small mistake during the transition zone.
This is why footballers shave their legs. When a player gets injured, doctors often use medical tape during recovery. But when the tape is removed, it pulls out the hair, which is extremely painful.
You have been wrong about this ninja weapon your whole life. You would think they were made for killing and used by ninjas. But movies lied to you because they were mainly used as a sidearm of the samurai for destruction.
Dad, what are you doing? Please save the fish quickly. quickly. The water is frozen. Fish is going to die.
I know the...
Look, here's the sharpest knife in the world.
Wow, can it cut through this can of soda?
If you ever go to play paintball, don't make this mistake. While playing paintball, many players end up dropping their ammo, but they don't do it on purpose. During the game, paintball bottles are fitted upside down so players can refill.
Never live in an inflatable house made in China, or this is what will happen. An inflatable house is made of special plastic and stays standing because it's filled with air. Many brokies choose this home since they simply don't have enough money to buy a normal house.
And you may... They're inside a Japanese cycling center filled with the strangest bikes you've ever seen. Some look like gym machines. Others feel totally useless.
This military guy is going to demonstrate just how disciplined the army is. As soon as he enters his bunk...
This is why you should never pull a loose thread without thinking twice. When a barber noticed a small thread on his client's neck, he casually pulled it and cut it off. But the strange part, the thread didn't stop. It just kept coming.
This man had brought watermelon for his elephant, but he did not know that it would start enjoying the watermelon with joy. Then, when the man was putting pieces of the watermelon into it...
This is how babies get x-rayed. Doctors gently place the baby inside a clear plastic tube with their arms raised, because even tiny movement can blur the image. This holder, called a pigostat, keeps them in the right position the first time. It's painless, safe, and actually reduces radiation.
This museum is so real, it tricked...
This is a paper origami that is banned in many schools. The material...
Look, this guy made a big mistake because he had to paint the whole stadium and he was almost done with just one spot left in the middle. The new worker thought he couldn't get out after painting it, but the man was a pro and showed him how it's done. When only the last spot remained, he moved out slowly while continuing to paint the ground. Let's give him a like for his skill.
Oh no, Mom, look! Why is Dad stepping on a nail? Stop him! I think the nail went into his foot!
Hey kid, don't worry. These nails can't hurt your dad. Dad is wearing very strong shoes. They are premium and tough.
The boy decided that today he would build...
Look, this boy made a very big mistake. Actually, when his crush told him that she only...
This is how bicycle brakes evolved over time. Were very basic. The pads pressed directly against the tire to slow the bike down, but they wore out fast and slipped easily, especially in the rain. By the 1950s, brake design improved. The pads no longer touched the tire. They clamped the rim from the sides. This made braking stronger, more stable.
This guy almost got the girl disqualified. While he was pulling off some crazy backflips at a trampoline park, he had no idea someone would step right into his landing path. And then, the unexpected happened. This guy almost got the girl disqualified. While he was pulling off some crazy backflips at a trampoline park, he had no idea someone would step right into...
When this worker showed the new pool noodle their job invested, unexpected what they actually used it for.
My job invested in a new pool.
This little boy decided to test what would happen if he stood in the middle of those barriers that block vehicles. He thought instead they launched him upward, and a security guard... This guy has the highest salary in his restaurant because while most places use machines to make noodles, he does everything by hand. First, he stacks multiple layers of dough in a way that when they're sliced, they instantly turn into noodle-shaped strands. But the real skill is speed. He has to work insanely fast to make noodles this perfect.
Why can they walk inside the water? You might think this is AI, but this is 100% real. This guy made a huge mistake because while he was working with full focus, he didn't even realize that he had trapped himself in the middle. Even though he had done a really great paint job, but when it was time to leave, everything got ruined. However, when his boss did the work, he managed to bring it all to the final corner neatly and got it out perfectly without making any mess. This guy made a huge mistake because while he was working with full focus, he didn't even realize that he had trapped himself in the middle. Even though he had done a really great paint job, but when it was time to leave, everything got ruined. However, when his boss did the work, he managed to bring it all to the final corner neatly and got it out perfectly without making any mess.
This man hasn't touched the floor in 5 years because he treats the ground like lava. He jumps from the bed to the door frame and even stands on the sink just to brush his teeth. His mom is very angry because he keeps breaking the furniture with his crazy jumps. He even climbs the walls in hotels just to close the curtain.
When rock climber tried this carnival game, he annoyed the staff because he was so strong. To avoid slipping, he first wiped the bar, which is not a...
This is proof that drinking too much Red Bull gives you wings, because when this boy showed up to his very first championship tournament, he got very nervous and had to take 2 Red Bulls just to calm his nerves. Something very insane happened because the adrenaline kicked in.
This man had a complete nightmare on the plane. Whenever he reached out with his arm, the two people next to him were pushing his arm aside. First, he tried using a strange tool to push the man's arm away, but it didn't work. Then he tried wetting the arm, but the man pulled a hairdryer.
This older sister is really brave enough.
Yo, it's officially February 1st. I just want to come out here and say Happy Black History Month. Shout out to all my black kings and queens.
When these professional lion dancers were performing at a show, two pillars.
This is why waterbeds have almost disappeared. This coach is a true lifesaver.
I'm passing the phone to...
This is why the coach is never wrong, because when this guy tried to help his student do a back, people thought this was a real stadium with fans in VIP seats watching the soccer game. But when the cameraman revealed a different angle, everything changed. People thought this was a real stadium with fans sitting in VIP seats watching the soccer game. But when the cameraman revealed a different angle, everything changed. It turned out to be an illusion, because if you look closely, you'll notice that it's actually a massive screen covering the entire wall, designed to make you feel like you're right there in the stadium.
This is what blind people actually see. Many people...
Oh my God! Son, where are you hiding? Here you are! Son, what are you doing?
Why does God love you? Not.
This training trick could make you into the next Usain Bolt by using a hanging mat that helps runners fix their style and get the most smooth and fast start possible. This training trick could make you into the next Usain Bolt by using a hanging mat that helps runners fix their style and get the most smooth and fast start possible. This training trick could make you into the next Usain Bolt by using a hanging mat that helps runners fix their style.
This tiny mistake can cost you broken teeth when a compressed mattress is opened the wrong way. Since memory foam mattresses are compressed.
Sometimes it's not the skater, but the skateboard itself.
These guys use a clever technique to grab a ball from the river, but then one guy does something that completely ruins the plan.
This is the fastest chef in the world. He can slice over 10 onions at the same time without shedding a single tear.
These students all decided to hit a backflip to surprise their PE teacher. Wait until
Speed, avoiding every single hit. It looked impossible, but he made it to the top without a scratch. But is this brave or just stupid? This guy is training for the World Cup in the craziest way possible. His friends rolled dozens of heavy tires down the hill to crush him, but instead of running away, he dribbled the ball straight in.
This firefighter was sued for $12,000 after breaking a window to save a dog in a house fire. The homeowner said it was property damage. The judge's reaction:
did you know this is caber toss? It's a traditional sport from Scotland. Competitors throw a massive wooden pole called the caber that can be 20 feet tall and...
At this famous cafe, a cup of coffee cost $100, but when it came out, the customer refused to take it. She demanded a refund because of how small the cup was. But this is when things got uncomfortable because the cashier didn't care what she thought.
This girl could not believe what just happened.
This girl built a double-decker lift for her dog that would take him down the stairs. She did this because her dog had grown old and his legs would always hurt while climbing down. This girl built a double-decker lift for her dog that would take him down the stairs. She did this because her dog had grown old and his legs would always hurt while climbing down. Now, every time the dog rides down in this tiny butt, when skating players come together to play football, they decide to play while skating. So everyone wears skates and starts the match. Do you think they can score a goal? When skating players come together to play football, they decide to play while skating. So everyone wears skates and starts the match. Do you think they can score a goal? When skating players come together to play football, they decide to play while skating. So everyone...
This guy saw that a post was missing a piece and decided to fix it.
This guy is one of the best Flores Lava players in the world, and even competed on a Netflix show for $10,000. That's why he glides through the obstacle course with insane balance and control, finishing with a clean, stylish run. This guy is one of the best Flores Lava players in the world, and even competed on a Netflix show for $10,000. That's why he glides through the obstacle course with insane balance and control, finishing with a clean, stylish run. This guy is one of the best Flora's Lava players in the world, and even competed on a Netflix show for $10,000. That's why he glides through the obstacle course with insane balance and control, finishing with a clean, stylish run. This guy is one of the best Flora's Lava players in the world, and even competed on a Netflix show for $10,000.
Ever wonder why planes sometimes spray inside?
This is proof that mistakes only make you stronger, because when
As soon as this girl pressed the button, she immediately took her position. That's why everyone ran away. But her brother stayed seated because he knew.
These guys are attempting the Ronaldo Jump Challenge, and whoever succeeds gets $7,000. You see, some people got super close, but it's still not good enough, as you only get the reward if you touch the ball. Even people taller than Ronaldo could.
If you can land on the keeper and use this sound.
Look, when this footballer scored the goal that won the match, he decided to celebrate with a slide. However, he was so hyped that he kept sliding more and more, all the way out of the field. Not only
Look, this man sneaked into his daughter's room at night because he wanted to see if she was really saving money or just showing off. That's why he broke her piggy bank. Only if this wife shocked her husband when she spent their life savings on this van. He was so angry he wanted to return it immediately, but she told him to wait and look inside. When the door opens,
please don't scroll. I'm just trying to become a big...
This guy is crazy about Ronaldo. He went to a barber and said, I want a haircut that makes Ronaldo notice me. The barber started by pouring white...
This girl ended up dropping her skateboard into quicksand. Look, this girl made a huge mistake at the wedding and she almost got fired for it. You see, this girl had the best job in the world because all she had to do was throw flowers during the ceremony to make everything look more magical. But this time the flowers didn't even reach the bride and groom. Luckily, the couple was very kind. They said it was okay and didn't even get mad at her. This couple deserves at least one like. Look, this girl made a huge mistake at the wedding and she almost got fired for it. You see, this girl had the best job in the world because all she had to do was throw flowers during the ceremony to make everything look more magical. But this time the flowers didn't even reach the bride and groom. Luckily, the couple was very kind. They said it was okay and didn't even get mad at her. This couple deserves at least one like. Look.
Got a girl with California eyes.
Why Apple Store workers won't care if you steal an iPhone in front of them? A lot of people think the security is there to physically stop you, but the truth is they'll do absolutely nothing. And that's because stealing an iPhone...
This rider just can't catch a break. Every time he wipes his goggles, he makes things worse. Before the off-road race, he stacked layer after layer.
This guy plays basketball on extreme difficulty because every time he misses the hoop...
I think I just found...
This family found the funniest way to say goodbye to their old swimming pool. On the final day, while everyone was playing in the water,
This poor girl had no idea what would happen if the tire accidentally started rolling backward. Thinking of herself as a hero, she began pushing the tire without asking anyone, believing she could single-handedly load this heavy tire into the truck. But as soon as she climbed onto the sloped pad, she realized just how difficult it could be to take it lightly. This poor girl had no idea what would happen if the tire accidentally started.
These girls were challenged by their sensei to kick 3 water bottles back to back. If they managed to do it, they'd earn a full day off from training. Most of them tried, but failed. And even the ones who succeeded did it with clear imperfections. In the end...
And of course they pipe fumes into the room where I'm staying at, because that's what they do to me. That's one of the things. And so this morning I wake up and I've got this thing right here after and of course they pipe fumes into the room.
In 2022, Nutella offered $1 million to anyone who could guess their new secret.
Look, this girl made a big mistake because she thought that skating on the frozen lake would not break the ice, so she went to the middle to test it, and when nothing happened, she came a little closer to the edge. And she felt safe there too.
This little girl made a big mistake because she bought...
This man went to the beach with his shoes on, but when he took them off, a ton of sand spilled out. By the time he reached his...
Everyone told this guy not to join the bike race. They said he would never win because he doesn't have hands, but he didn't listen. He still wanted to race. Before the race, his mom helped him put on his shoes and made sure...
This guy is Tanner Witt, and he holds the world's highest jump record. What stands out is how little effort it looks like he uses.
In the day they see you again.
This is proof of how impossible it would have been to survive the Titanic. In this simulator, the platform tilts just like the ship did when it sank nose first into the ocean. Why do homeless people hate this bench? Even though its design looks pretty cool, it's actually intimidating for homeless people. That's because in many European cities, engineers have designed benches meant only for sitting, making it impossible to sleep on them and discouraging homeless people from using them in public places. Why do homeless people hate this bench? Even though its design looks pretty cool, it's actually intimidating for homeless people. That's because in many European cities,
This is why you should not wear red color in front of bull, because when these guys were cycling usually on their track, they saw an angry bull blocking their way, and seeing this, they picked up their bicycles so they can escape the attack. Later, the bull again saw the other cyclers' red paint and tried to attack them, but then he also ran away, and now the bull will attack those who do not like and subscribe. This is why you should...
Finding the perfect home. It's a...
No. Sonny, you've got to sing the song, please. I'm begging.
If your legs also go numb while sitting, don't stand up and shake them, because there's a simple secret way to fix it. But first, if you also enjoy sitting, then like and subscribe. Sitting in the same position for a long time can make your leg...
Oh God, come on, legs, don't stay behind. But what? Oh God, come on, legs, don't stay behind. But what? Where did that woman come from? Well, it doesn't matter. I'll take out some new legs. Done. Now I can walk again? Come on, don't stay behind. Oh my God, they ran off. Oh God, come on, legs, don't stay behind.
When the small player was standing as the goalkeeper, the ball hit the goalpost, bounced back, hit his body, and then went into the goal. He picked up the ball and acted like it. This is what happens when someone turns a simple paper airplane design into a solid piece made out of metal. It keeps the same shape, but the weight is on a completely different level, so it would need a huge amount of speed and strength to actually fly. This is what happens when someone turns a simple paper airplane design into a solid piece made out of metal. It keeps the same shape, but the weight is on a completely different.
When this guy was practicing a kung fu move called monkey perch, he kept failing, even breaking a few staffs along the way. He fell, he failed, but he...
Do you know who my father is?
When this girl got pulled over, she instantly used her brain to avoid a ticket, but the police said something that is totally unexpected.
Marucha citation. This guy made a huge mistake, because while he was working with full focus, he didn't even realize...
When this boy went to check his well at night, he realized he couldn't escape.
As soon as they were about to get on the flight, this lady first put a bandage on her daughter's arm and carefully wrote her phone number on it. Then she kept...
Look, this guy keeps throwing all the things around the house, and his younger brother keeps putting the thrown items.
When he realized he could only knit that much in a day, he started worrying about finishing the Spider-Man design before his brother's birthday. After 4 days, he hadn't even finished half the head. By day 6, he felt confident he'd make it in time.
This guy was angry at his parents, so he built a slingshot to aim at the tent they were in.
Everyone demanded that this athlete be a...
Look, this girl has been trying to make something out of dye.
How are these moving? This man made a huge mistake while painting an entire stadium. He was almost done. Only one spot was left in the middle. The new worker got scared. He thought if he painted it, there would be no way out. But this man was a professional. He showed him the right way. When only the final spot remained, he kept painting while slowly walking backward. In the end, the stadium was perfect, but sadly, no one gave this man a like.
Why are these people struggling to ride this cycle? You might have seen athletes using these bikes, but why aren't they going fast? These cycles don't actually have any brakes and require...
When this family decided to renovate...
Why are these people...
When this family decided to renovate their house, they came up with the most genius stairs idea ever. Because as soon as he steps onto the first step,
Look, this guy wanted to see which one is more intelligent, a cockroach or a worm, so he put both of them in a maze with only one exit.
This guy thought he could trick his barber by wearing a fake hairpiece without anyone noticing. Immediate mystery and a social risk. But the second the barber started washing, he realized something was very wrong. The hair was literally glued on. He began peeling it all off, but then he made a promise that would change everything. After cleaning the scalp and drying it carefully, something shocking was about to happen.
This is exactly why paintball is dying. Over the past few years, many paintball fields have been shutting down. Tournaments are shrinking, sponsorships are gone, and there's zero TV.
With this, I'll be able to pour soda into all the glasses at the same time.
Hey, sister, give me all that. Throw it away.
This father already had 2 sons, and his biggest dream was to have a daughter. When the gender reveal moment arrived, he was very excited. He popped the first confetti, but no color came out, and he thought something had gone wrong. At that moment, his best friend quickly handed him another confetti. When he popped it, something completely unexpected happened. But before that, which one would you choose? If you would choose the angel, you can like the video and subscribe to the channel. Those who scroll past...
Hey kid, stop right there. You can't bring a trash bin into the vehicle.
Sir, this is not a trash bin. This is...
If you ever see a bunch of little fishes swim up to...
This store owner had a rule. Any kid who brings good grades can get anything in the store for free.
My name is Brian, and
I'm gonna show you my report card. I have 85.
Let's go. You see, guys, you see that? He improved from 75 to 85. You get to grab whatever you want. Go ahead, grab it.
Instead of grabbing toys or snacks for himself, he picked up eggs, bread, and milk for his family. But when the kid asked if he could also take a small biscuit as a Mother's Day gift,
I can get this for myself.
For Mother's Day?
Yeah.
the owner did something that
This guy was tired of his math teacher because every time he gave any exam...
This guy might have the craziest talent on earth. Meet Alex, the real...
This training tech could unlock Usain Bolt level speed. A suspended mat forces sprinters to perfect their form and explode out of the start faster than ever. This training tech could unlock Usain Bolt level speed. A suspended mat forces sprinters to perfect their form and explode out of the start faster than ever. This training tech could unlock Usain Bolt level speed. A suspended mat forces sprinters to perfect their form and explode out of the start faster than ever. This training tech could unlock Usain Bolt level speed. A suspended mat forces sprinters to perfect their form and explode out of the start fast.
These guys are attempting something that seems impossible. Inspired by Ronaldo, they're trying to kick the ball higher than themselves. The first two guys try and miss. They don't even come close to the target. At this point, it looks like no one is going to pull it off.
This is what the future of haircuts looks like. You just tell it what style you want, stick your head into the machine and let...
Su padre creyó que resolverían este rompecabezas juntos, pero resulta que ella no necesitaba...
Just because he was careless for a moment, this child successfully turned someone else's car into a moving sticker album. Hundreds of stickers were plastered all over the car's body. Luckily, his mother saw the car owner's number and immediately contacted him. When the car owner arrived, he was...
If you ever see a Japanese guy with hair like this, don't get fooled. It looks perfectly styled, but if you pull it, the hair can actually come off bit by bit. And it's not just guys. Some Japanese girls choose bold hairstyles that look straight out of an anime. Maybe they want to stand out, or maybe they just love the style. Either way, it's really interesting to see. And if you've got hair on your head right now, leave a like. If you ever see a Japanese guy with hair like this, don't get fooled. It looks...
Many people say this is one of the most dangerous sports in the world. Many injuries occur during these races, as people in tiny cars speed downhill at full force, crashing into each other and getting thrown off the track.
Look, this grandma knew that if the side of this pizza was not changed before...
When the girl tears up a drawing of Messi, nobody likes it. When the girl tears up a drawing of Ronaldo, nobody likes it either. When the girl tears up a drawing of Iron Man, nobody likes it. When the girl tears up a...
This is exactly why pro paintball players have sniper-level accuracy. This kid is firing at insane speeds, coming inches away from his friend's skin without missing a single shot. He even threaded the needle through the tiny gap.
This guy plays basketball on what feels like the hardest difficulty possible. Every time he misses a shot, the ball doesn't just bounce away, it drops all the way down to the bottom floor. Even after his neighbors warned him how dangerous it was, he kept playing anyway. Shot after shot, he refused to stop, and over time, he became so precise that
These guys tried to recreate the famous Spider-Man meme, and this is how it turned out.
Did you know that in the Real Madrid store, you can print almost any name on a shirt? Mbappe, Ronaldo, or even your own. But there's one rule. You can't print the name Messi. One famous streamer tried to order a shirt with that name through the official...
Why does Kai Cenat refuse to buy a new chair? You might think it's because I Show Speed bought it for him, or even...
This girl bought a small machine to practice her baseball swings at home. At first, the ball didn't seem to come out right, but just as the machine finally started working, neither the girl nor her dog saw this coming.
This isn't a real bullet, but it still hurts bad. Training paintballs sting, but tournament-grade rounds, they swell your skin and leave brutal bruises. That's why pros wear full gear. Would you still play without protection? This isn't a real bullet, but it still hurts bad. Training paintballs sting, but tournament-grade rounds, they swell your skin and leave brutal bruises. That's why pros wear full gear. Would you still play without protection?
Watch what happens when a coach creates a trick shot nobody's supposed to beat.
This teacher said he would put his students in a cup and take them to a special place. Then he got into the car with the cup and started driving to show where they were going. To everyone's surprise, he took them to an incredible stage where they were about to put on an amazing show in front of an audience. And don't forget to leave a like to support them all. This teacher said he would put his students in a cup.
This family was choosing their slices.
This boy is so poor that he can't even buy a real boat to go to school. He had to cross this river every day. That's why he decided to make the world's cheapest motorboat. He took a discarded wooden frame, and by joining water containers...
This little boy was being bullied at school for being too quiet, so he wanted to look like a tough ninja turtle to scare the bullies away. The artist knew how important this was, so she didn't just paint a mask. She added realistic...
Look, these students were tired of class.
Make me mad.
By the way, this is the same guy that...
He dropped his iPhone in the frozen river, so he took off his shoe and...
This isn't ordinary art, it's pure skill. Instead of using a brush, this artist paints with water. Every movement creates a one-of-a-kind pattern that can never be repeated.
These nut bolts are being properly covered with plastic sheets because during concreting, cement slurry, water, and soil can enter the threads and jam them. This would make it difficult to screw on the nuts or adjust the
What if you could walk on...
If you do this simple trick, you'll be able to spin a ball on one finger. So how do you do it? Many people think you need genetically special fingers or years of experience to do this. But there's actually a secret method which allows everyone to do this, and it's very easy to learn. So what's the method? But if you have fingers, like and subscribe. First, bend your finger and use your thumb as support. Then practice spinning the ball.
This guy made a huge mistake by jumping into this green pool, because at first, he thought the only challenge was the freezing cold water. But when he went down and moved a little further, his eyes started burning like pepper spray. And that's when he realized this was the hardest part of the training, so he quickly rushed back out after just 20 seconds. This guy made a huge mistake by jumping into this green pool, because at first, he thought the...
Look, this little boy places the drone right in the middle of his classroom and holds its remote in his hands. As soon as he presses the button on the remote, the drone starts flying in the air. In fact, this drone was made by the boy himself using scrap materials.
Have you ever wondered why Turkish ice cream is so hard that you actually need a knife to cut it? Some people think it's just because they freeze it longer, but that's actually not true. You've probably noticed that it's so thick that stores keep it on huge metal rods.
Every morning at 6 a.m., a police car stops at this exact corner, but it never pulls anyone over and never even turns its lights on. At first, neighbors thought it was just an officer taking a break, but police were finally called after parents started getting...
This is a 2,000-year-old method of crossing a river, known as bamboo drifting. It takes many years to learn. In this technique...
These boys from China created a science project that left even their teacher...
If you ever see a video on social media claiming that scratches can be removed using a lighter's fire button, do not try it on your phone, or you may lose what you already have. In the video, they show that the fire button removes scratch...
This child had put a lot of effort into building some...
Everyone told her to give up the...
What's the real difference between a BB gun and an airsoft gun? They kind of look the same, but they're actually completely different, and it all comes down to these two reasons. First of all, they don't shoot the same projectiles. Airsoft guns fire small 6mm plastic BBs that are designed not to penetrate.
The teacher told everyone to lock their phones away. One by one, students walked up and dropped their phones inside. Then, one phone felt strange.
What's the highest point you can jump into water and...
I love playing in the bouncy castle.
What'll happen if I make a little hole?
Stepmother, help me!
Back in 1990, socks reached all the way up to your knees. By 2000, their length had only been trimmed down slightly. Come 2010,
When this boy drops a piece of sausage while cutting it, his little dog goes
When this guy tries to inflate the clay pot to make it round, it bursts from one side because the clay is too thin. Even then, he attempts a unique way to blow air into it, but it's still...
This guy got tired of paying his barber $500 for a haircut, so he spent months watching his barber closely, learning every move and secret technique.
This girl trusted her dad so much that she climbed
I work for a top secret research.
You'll never have to walk barefoot again. Now you can create your own sneakers using a 3D printer that...
This is a viral bread challenge that's popular on streets abroad. If you can use a fork to put the bread into the box, you can eat as much as you want. This has attracted many people to take on the challenge. Don't be fooled, it looks easy, but it's actually very difficult. Since the bread is extremely soft, it's hard to pick it up with a fork.
This guy wanted to find out if there was actually a person hiding behind the bowling lanes. There is a myth that someone sits back there to rearrange the...
This man wanted to see how his two dogs would react at different water depths. First,
This is why you should always read instructions before using a machine at the gym, because when
This chef has the weirdest habit.
This little boy has one of the most unique jobs in the world because every day when he steps into this elevator, he only has one...
This might be the unluckiest guy on earth. In the middle of the ride, he suddenly saw...
Look, this boy thought of playing a prank on his father. The boy...
This guy thought he got caught in the dirtiest rain on earth.
This family was taking part in an interactive challenge game when
To humiliate me, my female... Don't watch this video completely by mistake. Otherwise, you will also learn to make a cute mini lake of paper like this student. First of all, this boy colored the entire
They challenged their police officer dad to a chase, thinking he was too old to keep up. But the moment he moved, his training kicked in, and the ending shocked them.
Think you can beat your dad in a foot pursuit?
No, you can't. I got two running. One's wearing all sweats, barefoot.
Why do some airports throw your luggage around like it doesn't even matter? Everyone hates when their bag comes out damaged. Well, here's why they do it. Flights only have 20 to 30 minutes to unload and reload hundreds of bags. Airlines get fined for delays, not for a few scratches. So they pick speed over care. But some airports are totally different. Their staff...
If you dropped a basketball from the Burj Khalifa, it would only bounce up a few floors. But what if you wanted it to bounce all the way back to the top?
This couple was in serious trouble when water suddenly filled their ceiling. They tried to hold it back to save the kitchen, but the pressure was too strong.
You can't buy MotoGP tires, even if you're a billionaire, and here's why. Because tire brands spend millions developing these tires with insane grip and durability.
When this man found a hair in his food, he decided to act smart. After noticing the hair on his...
People got worried for these guys after this video blew up on social media because
This girl wanted to see how smart her cats were. As soon as she opened the door,
Which cozy bed would you want to sleep in this winter? Dirty bed. Ignore it. Round bed.
this girl saw a small hedgehog.
This girl tried to pass the door. Jesus stopped her and began scanning her. He was checking for a zombie bite. Then, with his divine power, he looked into her memory. This girl tried to pass the door. Jesus stopped her and began scanning her. He was checking for a zombie bite. Then, with his divine power, he looked into her memory. That's when he saw the truth. She really had been attacked. So Jesus healed her instantly.
Everyone thinks this grandfather is 350 years old. The most incredible thing is that he is sitting on his grandson's lap. Many people don't believe it or think it's a lie, but this little old man is...
This morning, I caught Chris...
When this man was practicing the move, he failed repeatedly, fell many times, and even broke some wooden pieces.
Victimless crimes.
After visiting Dubai, this Chinese man went back to China and became a genius at fighting.
Early in the morning, two brothers went to play...
Hey, Lily, what's in your packet? Give me a little, please.
Oh, these are tomato-flavored snacks. Here, take a little. You have some too.
Hey, Emma, what do you have in your hands?
These are chili.
This guy has to pass the world's most impossible firefighter exam to get his dream job. The entire course is a moving nightmare designed to destroy his balance and make him quit. He has to sprint through a disorienting maze.
This guy plays basketball on extremely difficult mode because every time he misses a shot, there's a real chance the ball drops straight down to the lowest floor. And even after his neighbors warn him how risky it is, he keeps shooting anyway until he doesn't miss a single shot and turns himself into a pro. This guy plays basketball on extremely difficult mode because every time he misses a shot...
A lot of people thought this guy had made a big mistake when he poured paint all over the floor in a random way, but he actually knew exactly what he was doing. Once the entire floor was fully covered, he carefully mixed the resin with the hardener, turning it into an epoxy layer that was ready to cure, and when it set, the result ended up being something no one expected. A lot of people thought this guy had made a big mistake when he poured paint all over the floor in a random way, but he actually knew exactly what he was doing. Once the entire...
Why do paintball players waste their balls everywhere? It may look like they are being careless, but most of the time it happens by accident. Each player usually carries about 6 paintball canisters.
When the playground in 99 Nights in the Forest was slowly getting abandoned, everyone in 99 Nights started crying, one by one, so the deer had an idea and decided to fix the playground. The deer then fixed every playground one by one until it was finally done, and the fairy decided to plant seed to the ground to make it look lively. Once everything was done, everyone...
This girl just got a Tesla for her 16th birthday, and this was her reaction.
I don't like electric cars. For Mercedes-Benz, I don't like Teslas. I would rather walk in.
Everyone laughed at this idea until they saw the result. He took clay and started making lines on it, then he started making each square smooth. After that, he started cutting it and forming a big mouth. Next, he started...
This little kid took part in a race competition for the first time. He ran and won the race, but he kept running without realizing he had already won. He ran even faster and started another lap. When the officials noticed, they tried to stop him, but the little one had already gone too far. Thankfully, one of When this boy was battling cancer and needed a bone marrow transplant, no match could be found in the donor list. But then they discovered that his younger brother was a perfect match, and this was the moment he told his little brother that when this boy was battling cancer and needed a bone marrow transplant, no match could be found in the donor list. But then they discovered that his younger brother was a perfect match, and this was the moment he told his little brother that he was going to save his life.
Saving? And what does that make you? You're a real life superhero.
Si alguna vez alguien te ata así,
This guy made a huge mistake that brought the entire work to a stop because during construction, they didn't notice that material had fallen on some stones on the road, which could cause big trouble, so he started cutting it to see what it was, but then realized it was actually road reflectors that had been pressed down since no one was informed about that, and now each...
This guy risked his entire future on a single floating leaf. The ancient legend says if it reaches the center of the spiral without stopping, he will become a billionaire. He watched nervously as the current carried it through the stone maze. It was flowing perfectly, but that's not all. Just as it reached the end, a naughty kid tried to snatch his luck away. His dad pulled him back just in time. The man won the jackpot, but
This dog has superpowers. When the owner bet that his dog would ignore every ball except the hockey disc, everyone laughed thinking he had already lost. No dog on earth could stay focused.
The yellow boilie is highly attractive to the carp. Observe the distinct...
Look, this barber tried to cut her hair, but then he found out that the girl had been in a motorbike accident. Because of the head injury, she had lost some of her hair. But her wedding was only 2 days away, so she needed to find a way to hide the injury, or the wedding might get canceled. Thankfully, the barber made her a perfect wig that looked completely real. And to everyone's surprise, the barber told her the wig is free if she can at least get 2 likes. Look, this barber tried to cut her hair, but then he found out that the girl had been in a motorbike accident. Because of the head injury, she had lost some of her hair. But her wedding was only 2 days away, so she needed to find a way to hide the injury, or the wedding might get canceled. Thankfully, the barber made her a perfect wig that looked completely real. And to everyone's surprise, the barber told her the wig is free if she can at least get 2 likes. Look, this barber tried to cut her hair, but then he found out that this kid has the most insane soccer skills ever.
This fish looks beautiful, but here beauty is a warning.
At a small noodle shop in Tenga, Yunnan, China, 2 police officers stopped by to enjoy a quick meal. But just moments after they sat down, they received an urgent call and had to leave immediately, leaving their bowls of noodles behind. A young man sitting at the next table saw what happened. Without hesitation, he decided to pay the bill for the officers, even though he knew they would...
This girl lost her suitcase at the airport and had to wear the same outfit she traveled in for the rest of her vacation. At the pool celebrations, she was wearing the same outfit, and during the city tour, since she had no other clothes, it was still the same. On the last night of the trip, at a
Here comes the lift, straight up to the rim.
This man had been the garbage collector in their neighborhood for years, but when the city switched to automatic trash collection, he lost his job. He came to see the kids one last time. He brought small gifts and tiny work vests just like his, hoping the kids would remember him. The kids thought it was just another normal visit. They had no idea it would be the last time they'd ever see him. This man had been the garbage collector in their neighborhood for years, but when the city switched to automatic trash collection, he lost his job.
When this guy slipped while attempting a parkour move, everyone thought he was about to get seriously hurt. But at the very last second, he recovered in an insane way and pulled off an even crazier.
When this teacher was writing on the board, a girl sitting at the back pulled the teacher's shirt. The teacher was...
Wow, ma'am, these puppies are so adorable. I want one.
Me too. I'm taking one as well.
Excuse me, can I get a...
Look, this girl really loved wearing caps since she was a kid, but today when she asked her dad to buy one, he said no. Look, everyone told this girl not to join the race because she didn't even have legs, but this boy still wanted to race against her, so she accepted the challenge without hesitation. So if the girl...
This backbencher brought a gift for the teacher.
This is the result when a soldier tries a hand squeeze test and uses his total effort. His hand power reached a crazy 175.4 pounds of push. That's super strength. Do you guess you could beat that? This is the result when a soldier tries a hand squeeze test and uses his total effort. His hand power reached a...
Never play this game in the Dubai Mall because they say that if you can pull the gold bar out of the glass container, you get to keep it. But when too many people started winning, they changed the prize to $100, just like this woman.
His sister was diagnosed with cancer and needed expensive surgery. Shortly after, his mother was involved in an accident and was fighting for her life in the hospital. To make matters worse, his heartless father decided to abandon them. He had no money to pay for the medical expenses, but he heard that he could win an $80,000 prize.
When something comes under this magnet, it pulls out its soul, and even after knowing this foolish man comes with the magnet to the river flowing under this bridge, and the beginning happens with a piece of iron, and in the same way, sometimes an iron...
The moment this baby was born, she already had a full head of beautiful long hair. Her hair measured an incredible 1 meter, an extremely rare sight. While everyone marveled at it, her father's gaze slowly turned cold. He actually wanted to cut her hair and sell it for money, but her mother firmly refused, insisting...
That's really relaxing.
Driving like this is real.
This guy had a big problem because his neighbors could see everything inside his house, but he hated using curtains. So he decided to install this magical smart film on his windows. It was very difficult to reach the top, but he carefully applied the sheet. No one could believe this double bed made in China. Then this man came up with a clever idea. He opened the bed and asked his son to go inside it.
When this student glanced into another class, not only that,
I love everything. This move was straight up ruthless when it was this guy's turn to throw the egg at his...
When you try to steal the $40,000 hood ornament on a Rolls Royce, something unexpected happens. The second you...
This guy dropped his phone and the worker accidentally buried it on the floor without noticing. A few minutes later, he heard a phone ring, but when he checked, it wasn't his. They looked around.
He's the richest man in Dubai, the one who ever lived. Just write the amount you want and he'll send it to you.
This kid made a huge mistake when he had to choose between rest or training for his team. He picked a paper that said rest, and the whole team thought they were finally getting a break, but they had no idea.
Why are so many people scared to step into this volcanic mud? Every single day, tons of tourists go there just to bathe in it. At first, it looks super fun, but the guides inside will first submerge you completely.
There's actually no one inside this spinning pile of straw. In West Africa...
You think you're tough with that gold chain, huh? You're nothing but a flea-bitten mutt in my domain. Whew. You're barking up the wrong tree, human. My rhymes are tighter and my style is meaner. You think you're tough with that gold chain, huh? You're nothing but a flea-bitten...
That's why people say never underestimate kids, because while this man was fixing the car, he casually handed Leo a power drill and walked off to grab a wrench quick. No one saw what was...
The owner had told this guy to make a hole and drain the oil, but when he saw that the oil was coming out very slowly, he made 4 more holes, and because of that, all the oil drained out immediately, and when he noticed the container looked strange, he opened... See, this brother was going up with his 5 puppies from the lift, then a hand and picks up the pup.
Peel the sunflower stem, add moist growing medium.
Back in 2023, this new basketball was released to the world, and it quickly went viral for it being completely silent.
This is what a Marine's final test looks like. The goal is to retrieve a mask from the bottom of a pool while your hands and feet are tied together. During this exercise, staying calm and moving slowly is critical because the moment you panic, the challenge becomes much harder.
This guy made a huge mistake in front of his girlfriend. When he took her to a trampoline park to impress her, other guys started showing off their cool flips. Even a little boy tried to get her attention. Her boyfriend got jealous and wanted to show what he could do too. He jumped in, but he slipped, and everyone started laughing.
Seriously, I never knew death had...
This guy's car wing is so small that a cool guy mocks him because his own wing is bigger. But just then, another guy shows up with an even bigger wing, and he is even using a ladder to clean it. But things get even crazier when yet another guy appears, whose car wing is at least 1,000 times bigger than theirs, and he says he will give his wing to anyone who leaves a like. This guy's car wing is so small.
Look, this girl hides half of a lollipop in her hand and asks her mom to pull it.
I thought you said you were sleeping in. I thought you said you were sleeping.
As soon as the glass bottle slipped from his hand, he immediately thought he had lost his job because he has one of the most dangerous jobs in Dubai. These bottles have a special red coating. If this material
This man decided to paint his 6 billion Lamborghini. Instead of painting it with precision, he deliberately randomly sprayed the paint in different colors. This was certainly risky as he feared the car would look ugly. But when he saw the results, his car actually looked like a walking work of art. This man decided to paint his 6 billion Lamborghini. Instead of painting it with precision, he deliberately randomly sprayed the paint in different colors. This was certainly risky as he feared the car.
When this girl put her hand into a strange liquid, she pulled it out completely dry. But since she could not believe it, she tried putting her whole body in.
Look, this Santa girl made a huge mistake after putting what looked like a needle on her nose because it wasn't even. Suddenly, she panicked, grabbed her tweezers, and ripped off the makeup. People think this salon guy just throws away tons of razor blades, but what he actually does is clean them first by soaking them in water so he can earn double money. After that, he places the blades on cotton cloth or paper to dry them properly. Then he puts the salon scissors inside a glass box, and on top of that, he carefully fills it with those dried blades, and once the box is full,
this is how people evacuate an oil rig without jumping into the ocean. Offshore platforms can stand over 200 feet above the water, so they use evacuation chute systems that are lowered from the deck all the way to the sea. Workers then slide down inside the chute to inflatable life rafts that deploy on the surface. This is how people evacuate an oil rig without jumping into the...
Which of these shoes would you wear on your birthday party? Bouncy shoes, leave a like. Bubblegum shoes, comments a heart. Glowing shoes.
This girl found a mysterious black card on the ground and realized it was a key for a Tesla Cybertruck. She was shocked to see the car parked right there, so she decided to try and open it. But she made a big mistake because she didn't know where the sensor was. She swiped it on the door, tapped it on the window, and even tried the charging port. But the car refused to unlock. She got so frustrated with the technology that she just threw the key on the ground and walked away. But she said she will try again if she gets 2 likes. This girl found a mysterious black card on the ground and realized it was a key for a Tesla Cybertruck. She was shocked to see the car parked right there, so she decided to try and open it. But she made a big mistake because she didn't know where the sensor was. She swiped it on the door, tapped it on the window, and even tried the
This is Ryan, but people call him the stilt.
This kid made a big mistake when he had to choose between rest and team training.
When this boy had to choose whether his team would relax or work out, he made the biggest mistake of his life. Because when he picked the paper with T, his entire team thought they were about to get a break. But what they didn't realize was that the coach wasn't going to let that slide, and it was secretly a win-win situation for him. When this boy had to choose whether his team would relax or work out, he made the biggest mistake of his life. Because when he picked the paper with T, his entire team thought they were about to...
Have you ever wondered how people can walk on water? Is there an easy way to do this? But before I show you, if you know how to walk, like and subscribe. So you've probably seen viral videos where people magically walk on water. Many people think this is fake, but there's actually a secret method behind this. So how do you do it? First, place a glass chair into the water and stand on it.
When he dipped his hand into a puddle of water at the beach, this is the tallest boy in the world. As soon as he enters his house, he gets stuck in the...
On the farewell day, the students of the class removed one tile from the ceiling. The teacher thought the children were about to cause serious damage, but instead...
Who could be more daring than this kid? He literally drilled holes into his own car roof, even making an opening on the side. To prevent water from leaking in, he installed waterproof foam and secured it tightly with screws. Then he painted a plywood board black, added hinges in the middle, and shaped it so it could open and close. In the end, he turned his car into a mobile camping spot for the night. Who could be more daring than this kid? He literally drilled holes into his own car roof, even making an opening on the side. To prevent water from leaking in, he installed waterproof foam. This man is one of the top Floor is Lava players on the planet, even going head-to-head on the hit Netflix series for $10,000. This shows how he smoothly goes through this obstacle course.
This guy has one of the easiest jobs in the world, and that's exactly why he never...
This immigrant walked into a new country.
Look, whenever my sister puts chocolate in it and puts this cream here from above, then she put...
This American football team's coach brought the players' families to show how they deal with their own kids. At first, it was calm, with only mothers and young...
Este caballo negro estaba sufriendo.
This popular game in Vietnam is called mud cannon. Players lift heavy wet mud and slam it down. The mud spreads in long lines. The longest line wins. People believe the loud sound scares away bad luck. This popular game in Vietnam is called mud cannon. Players lift heavy wet mud and slam it down.
Look at this. This toilet is impossible to get dirty, even if you try on purpose. To prove it, the man put some chocolate on the seat, and as soon as he stepped away, the seat disappeared to be cleaned, and a brand new one appeared in its place. Even if you throw trash on the floor, high-pressure water automatically shoots from below to clean everything, and in less than a second...
Look, when this woman ordered a giant dumpling, she actually made a big mistake. Because at first, she thought it would be packed with minced meat. But actually, when the waiter cut open the top, it only had tiny pieces of dumpling. Not only that...
When her neighborhood flooded, they found a smart way to get a meal. They pulled a fishing net across the water, hoping something would swim into it. They could feel fish brushing against their legs, which only built the excitement. When they finally lifted the net back up, what they saw completely...
This boy made a huge mistake and burned his mother's favorite pan. She was so angry and told him to throw it away, but he begged for one last chance to fix it. He sprinkled some white powder and covered it with tissues. Then he poured a secret liquid and waited. When he wiped it off, the black crust peeled off like magic, and the pan looked brand new. But his mom said she will only forgive him if he gets 2 likes. This boy made a huge mistake and burned his mother's favorite pan. She was so angry and told him to throw it away.
This man dedicates himself to rescuing dogs with all kinds of disabilities. He builds custom wheelchairs for them so they can run.
This guy just exposed a carnival scam at Oktoberfest and he caught it all on camera.
Oh my god, Dad! Why is that crazy girl going inside this haunted bed? Dad, there's a dangerous witch ghost living in there. Please stop Luna from...
Brother, I don't understand one thing.
Why does the skin seem to get pulled toward a magnet when you bring your hand close? When working with ferromagnetic metal, tiny metal shavings can sometimes get embedded under the skin.
Let it come. Let the car come and let it come behind. There is a lot of space left.
During the match, this guy made...
Did you know... Never underestimate a pup's attachment to their toys. Because this toy had grown moldy and become a health risk, the owner had no choice but to throw it away. But the poor dog was devastated. He stayed by the trash bin, clinging to the...
Hey, Mom! Why are you pouring water on the ground? Come on! Don't get the car dirt!
This man has the most dangerous job...
Hey, crazy woman, take care of your child. He might fall. Oh, my baby is falling asleep. He needs rest. And for that, we should hold this gadget and convert it into a comfortable bed so he can sleep peacefully without...
People got mad at these match officials after these athletes were suddenly stopped by the security during this fitness event. At first, everyone...
The 2 brothers made a big mistake trying to retrieve a ball from the river.
Come on, let me quickly open the drain cover.
So I'll throw the wood into this dirty drain. Haha, it was fun.
Hey friend, what kind of friend is he? He threw a stick in this dirty drain. If water comes out from here, the atmosphere will get spoiled. Come, let me stop its blockage, friends. If I did a good job, please like and subscribe.
Come on, let me quickly open the drain cover.
So I'll throw the wood into this dirty drain. Haha.
Whoever empties their water bottle first wins. Mom, you haven't even started pouring. Dad's...
She was carrying a baby on this crowded bus when this lady invited her to sit in her seat. However, the moment she sat down, the girl unwrapped the towels right in front of everyone, and it became apparent there wasn't a baby inside, but instead it turned out to be a bouquet of roses, and she gave the flowers to the lady who showed genuine kindness. She was carrying a baby on this crowded bus when this lady invited her to sit in her seat. However, the moment she sat down, the girl unwrapped the towels right in front of the parent. There wasn't...
Look, this younger brother made a big...
What stories should I tell you? This magnet has taken the life out of whatever it sticks to, and today...
Come here. My little lamb is tired.
Workers are plucking feathers from geese, and what often surprises people is that
Although this guy didn't win, what he did touched everyone's heart. In the final competition, he couldn't lift the 30-kilogram hammer for long, but instead of getting angry or insulting his opponent, he started clapping and supporting him. Thanks to that support, his opponent was able to lift it for 50 seconds and ended up winning. Yet,
the unwritten rules in Japan.
Hey, little girl, do you think you can fix my TV?
Yes, show it to me. First, I have to take off this case. Now, I'm going to place the phone.
He's the biggest Fred Flintstone fan and wanted everyone to know it, so Look, after getting such a weird haircut, this girl couldn't see a thing because her hair was covering her eyes, so she ran straight back to the same barber to fix it. The barber was a little shocked.
Wow, what a beautiful painting. I'll walk over it.
don't go that way. It's not a painting. It's a real mouth that will eat you.
Wow.
Let me take a bath with this kind of water. Oh my god, what's it?
Oh no, why won't this piece fit? Maybe it's...
No matter what happens, never throw hot water outside your house during cold season, not even by mistake.
Oh my god, Jimmy, what happened to you? And why are you crying?
Dad, I am crying because Mom has tied me here.
Look, this guy was waiting for the lift, but when it opened, a girl threw coffee on his pants. He was confused, but then more girls...
Ever wondered how schools in the UK manage student phone usage? As soon as students arrive, their phones go straight into a specialized magnetic locking pouch. Once it's locked, there's no opening it by themselves, meaning zero phone time during class. To get their phones back, they have to wait until the final bell.
When this man stepped into the water, he was able to walk on it without sinking. But when this girl tried, she immediately went under. It was only possible because of a special pair of shoes made in China.
Look, when the master was unable to cut this water bottle, he told his student to sharpen the knife. The student was new and did not know how sharp the blade needed to be.
When tennis players cut their racket strings before a match, it might look like they are destroying an expensive racket, but it's actually super necessary because those rackets may look brand new, but after hours of play, the strings lose tension. And once that happens, the ball doesn't respond the way it should. So before the match begins, players cut the old strings and restring the racket to make sure every shot feels perfect. When tennis players cut their racket strings before
3 Disney souvenirs you'll regret not taking home. First, after you've cooled down with this amazing ice cream, this guy from wearing caps.
Whenever this girl goes to different places, she always takes a small piece of it back home, like when she went to a beach.
When this boy came to learn the circus on the first day, he tried to climb onto the horse by... This boy worked day and night and created a small crane-like device for his sick mother. When he tried it for the first time, people started mocking him.
This girl just mocked one of the most famous traditions in the world. For decades, people have tossed coins into the Trevi Fountain in Rome.
This is the Rex Bionic Self-Balancing Exosuit, a robotic suit that helped a woman walk again after 10 years in a wheelchair. Unlike regular walkers or mobility aids, it doesn't need crutches, buttons, or hand controllers, and it costs around...
When my grandpa was painting my little sister, Shampa came and finished the painting in one go using her hair. The next day, when my grandpa was painting, my little sister Chimpy quickly finished it with her hair, yet no one liked or subscribed. When my grandpa was painting my little sister, Shampa came and finished the painting in one go using her hair.
People stopped buying these mattresses after this video, and now you'll find out why. This hard...
Look, school kids in China are becoming way too smart. When these students got tired of playing, they wanted to lie down and rest instead of sitting. But there wasn't any space because they only had chairs. So they formed a circle and began to lie down.
Estos videos se están volviendo virales en... Look, as soon as the dough slides forward, the other man catches it immediately. Then he sprinkles a little flour on top and puts it back into the machine. Next, the dough goes straight to the press, where it is flattened correctly. The moment it comes out of the design machine, it already has a new pattern, and in the...
This couple was bored at the beach, so they drew a pool table right in the sand. The girl tried to hit the ball into the hole, but the ground was...
Never go near this giant bubble. You see, within this giant balloon museum, there's a challenge to see who can dodge this giant bubble.
Look, after getting such a weird haircut, this girl couldn't see a thing because her hair was covering her eyes, so she ran straight back to the same barber to fix it. The barber was a little shocked too.
Look, this girl wanted to buy a drink but only had a single coin that she borrowed from her friend. She taped a strip to the coin and inserted it into the vending machine while holding onto the tape. After pressing the button, she got her drink and then pulled the tape to get the same coin back. Look, this girl wanted to buy a drink but only had a single coin that she...
Leo wouldn't stop crying on the plane. He had to act really fast to make him stop crying. He grabbed a photo of his mom, held it up in front of his face like this, and then he pressed the...
This father decided to do a surprising magic with his daughter. He brought a big box and put his daughter inside it. The daughter had no idea what was going to happen next. As soon as the father set a part of the box, it was visible across the box. Then another part was inserted from below, and the whole box was turned like a puzzle. It seemed that there was no one inside the box. But then the father separated all the parts of the box and...
Here are 3 of the most unique slides in the world.
This guy wanted to know if his Umbreon Pokemon card was real. Turns out he bought a card from dubious sources, and many scammers...
This man was pretending that someone was about to attack him while walking toward unsuspecting women. This prank caused many people to panic immediately. Because the women couldn't see what was behind him, fear appeared instantly. But what one of the girls did completely shocked the prankster. But before that, which one would you choose? If you would choose the angel, you can like the video and subscribe to the channel. Those who scroll past are choosing...
This might be how you'll buy shoes in the future. Instead...
This child's hopes were dashed after all the effort he had put into building it by the sea. He designed it thinking that when the wave came, the water would slowly enter only through a specific path to fill it little by little. But unfortunately, that was not the case. The water rushed in from the side, although he ran...
Another perfect Florida day, 80 degrees, sunshine, pool behind me. This is the life. Wait, where did those clouds come from? Is that snow? No way, it's snowing. In Florida! Another perfect Florida day, 80 degrees, sunshine, pool...
This guy dropped some marbles on the bathroom floor, and now those marbles will decide whether he gets paid or not. If all the marbles roll smoothly and reach this drain, it means the bathroom floor has the correct slope and water won't collect. But if even one marble stops in the middle, he won't get paid until the slope is fixed. So what do you think? Will he get the money or not? This guy dropped some marbles on the bathroom floor, and now those marbles will decide whether he gets paid or not. If all the marbles roll smoothly and reach this drain, it means the bathroom floor has the correct slope and water won't collect. But if he...
This dad was stressed because his daughters refused to eat their vegetables. They just wanted to play. So he used a genius trick. He dumped a massive bucket of potatoes right on the counter and sculpted a prehistoric landscape. He planted broccoli trees and added crispy dinosaur nuggets. But that's not all, because he poured hot gravy into the center until the volcano erupted into a delicious...
This guy is popping the air bubbles on his sneakers, and there's a ton of videos of people doing this, but I strongly recommend you don't do it. Here's the thing, some running shoes have these little pockets filled with pressurized air and even carbon...
When this teacher arrived at school early, she saw that there were no students in the classroom. She was very surprised because that day she was supposed to give an exam to all the graduating seniors. Despite the heavy rain, she still went in and even cleaned up the classroom a bit, thinking the students might use the weather as an excuse not to show up. But when she looked toward the school entrance, she noticed something unexpected. Only the students from that class had arrived to take their exam. When this teacher arrived at school early...
Look, when people come here and shout louder, the water stream in front goes higher. When the woman shouted loudly into the horn, the water stream went up only a little. But later, when the boy started shouting, the water stream went very high because of his loud voice. After seeing this, everyone liked the video. Look, when people come here and shout louder, the water stream in front goes higher.
I will add poop!
I will add a tasty watermelon!
I will add a fish!
And I will add a tasty...
A man was wandering in the jungle. Suddenly, his eyes fell on a hippo. He thought, let's feed it a water.
This is the process of creating artwork on a fan.
This boy spent hours building the perfect sandcastle, but just when it was almost done, this girl tripped over it and destroyed everything. He was sad for a moment, but then he started again. He rebuilt the whole thing, stronger this time, and swore he'd protect it no matter what. And when it was finally finished,
Do you know why this people blow air beneath frozen lakes instead of breaking the ice? It might look strange, and many assume it's done to catch fish, but that's not the reason.
Look, this ceiling started leaking and the paint was stretching from all the water inside. When the girl woke up and saw it, she got scared and ran away, but never poked the...
This mom decided to take her 6-year-old to a Sabrina Carpenter concert. The night was going perfectly.
This Japanese guy built a bike with an absolutely insane gear ratio, a 120-tooth chainring up front and a 14-tooth in the back. On paper, that setup multiplies your speed by about 8.5 times, meaning it could theoretically reach triple-digit speeds. But there's a catch. The rear wheel is ridiculously heavy. The result is a bike that looks...
This kid got his head stuck between the railings, and it quickly turned into a total nightmare. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't move an inch. He began to panic. Just when he thought he would be trapped...
See how many water cubes are needed to topple a motorcycle. With only 1 cube, nothing happened. Even after throwing 10 cubes, nothing happened. Then 20 cubes were thrown and the motorcycle wobbled a bit. When 30 cubes of water were poured at once, it seemed the motorcycle would lose...
This bride was about to throw the bouquet to the crowd, but she suddenly turned.
This boy tricked his teacher when he was late for class. He stepped inside, saw the teacher, then quickly walked in backward, acting like he had been in class the whole time and was just trying to leave, but the teacher noted.
This barber spotted a loose thread hanging from his client's apron and decided to snip it so it wouldn't be distracting. But the more he cut, the longer the string seemed to get. Confused, he gave up and focused on finishing the haircut instead. When it was finally time to remove the aprons,
When this athlete won the race, the officials instantly told her she was not the winner. This is considered one of the hardest strength tests in the world. It was performed in ancient times by the Vikings to determine who was the strongest and could be considered the leader. The test uses a large log, which must be lifted using only a rope and a stick. However, as you get closer to the center, the log becomes heavier due to weight distribution, making it almost impossible to lift. And anyone who doesn't leave a like on the video will be challenged to lift this huge log as well. This is considered one of the hardest strength tests in the world. It was performed in ancient times by the Vikings to determine who was the strongest and could be considered the leader. The test uses a large log, which must be lifted using only a rope and a stick. However, as you get closer to the center, the log becomes heavier due to weight distribution, making it almost impossible to lift. And anyone who doesn't leave a like on the video will be challenged. This is considered one of the hardest strength tests in the world. It was
fresh out of the shower, staring at my flushed reflection in the mirror, feeling this weird, heavy disappointment I can't even put into words. If I were a dude and saw this needy, pent-up girl right now, I'd flip her every which way and fuck her senseless until I got bored. But nope, my boyfriend's perfect in literally every—
In this classroom, there's a strange tradition. Whenever a teacher taps a student's drawing with a stick, it means redo it. In the teacher—
Why does everyone struggle to climb these stairs? These stairs are in Sweden, but the truth is, climbing—
Look, this barber tried to cut her hair, but then he found out that the girl had been in a motorbike accident. Because of the head injury she—
This guy was walking when he noticed something strange moving inside a drain.
This little boy asked his dad if he could touch a cloud, but the sky was too high. So his dad came up with a crazy idea to bring the clouds to him. He poured hot water over dry ice, and instantly, a massive— As soon as this woman broke the balloon, something fell from it, which they started looking for all around. And after a long time, when they finally found that thing, they found—
How many screen protectors can you put on a phone?
Hey Mom, look! Dad has really gone crazy today. Dad, why are you cutting this bottle? If you do that, this bottle will get ruined.
Oh no, my dear daughter. Your dad hasn't gone crazy. Actually, today he is cutting this bottle to make a new brush.
Okay, Mom, Dad is doing—
Do not plug this hole. So in a previous video, we tested this prank gun that's designed to trick others into squirting themselves because this particular squirt gun is designed to shoot back.
In bungee jumping, people were made to jump from a height, and a rope was tied to their legs so that they would stay safe. But after some time, people didn't enjoy it anymore. Then, to increase the excitement, people were hung on a rope and it was cut with the help of a knife. But humans got bored of this too. So now a new method was introduced in which people were dropped while lying in the middle with a safety rope. But still, people didn't find it exciting. That's why now people are dropped from the top without any rope at all. And a very—
See, watching this will seriously make you feel how far ahead China has gone. In their homes, there's a lift built right along the stairs, and with just one press of a button, it activates. You can smoothly glide down with—
This man had been saving every penny for 5 whole years, and the pile had grown so large that he could no longer store them at home. So he loaded them onto a cart and—
Hey Jimmy, why are you breaking the basket?
Emma, I'm trying a quick fix for the sink, so vegetable scraps don't clog the pipe.
Oh no, now everything's all sticky in there.
When a car tire loses air, different methods are sometimes—
This guy thought he was a very good person, but when his shoe got ruined, he realized he had made a huge mistake. They rushed the shoe to the hospital, and the doctors did everything they could, but despite all their efforts, the shoe passed away. However, at the funeral, a guy appeared and revived the shoe by rubbing it with a special foam. But the next target could be your shoe if you don't like. This guy thought he was a very good person, but when his shoe got ruined, he realized he had—
This young man—
Do you remember when Drew McIntyre was about to— In China, people sit in one place all day doing a job that looks extremely boring at first glance.
The boy was late. He realized the teacher was very angry, but instead of running away, he came up with a clever—
These two boys made a very big mistake. They thought it would be fun to prank their sister, so they took a photo of their garage while it was open and printed it as a big banner. Then they stuck it on the closed garage door so their sister would think the garage was open. Later, their sister came home in her red car to park it inside the garage, and what happened next will shock you. But before that,
This girl placed lace doilies into plates, poured water over them, and left them outside in the
This soldier wanted to surprise his pregnant wife after being away on duty for 6 months. He quietly walked up behind her and gently tapped her chair to get her attention. A few seconds later, something no one expected happened. Before
This guy was tired of fixing the gravel every single day because someone would always come along and scatter it with their feet. So this time, he planned something different. He taped around the tiles and then brought out strong rat glue so anyone who stepped
In the heart of the forest, a tiny squirrel
This is one of the sneaky tricks often used in gaming arenas. The rules seem simple. You have to close the circle without showing any red to win a cell phone. When this man tried it himself, he failed miserably, so he asked a game attendant to do it for him. At first glance it seemed easy, however something felt odd. The circle the attendant used was actually larger, and inside it was a hidden magnet.
The man watching from above thought this girl has no idea what she's doing. He couldn't understand why she was carefully measuring the parking space, but the
Hey, come over here, Mira.
Hey, what are you doing, Rumi?
Now I'm going to...
This little girl was getting bored watching cartoons. Then her dad arrived and showed...
Look, this guy from China used his 2 million IQ trick to save himself from the cold. He went to the bathroom like he was going to take a bath, but instead of pouring water on himself, he splashed it all around. Then he acted like he had bathed in freezing water and started shivering. After that, he quickly went into a room.
This girl had stepped outside to meet her boyfriend, but just then, it started raining unexpectedly, and that was the moment her carefully straightened hair...
Hey, what are you doing to the wall?
I'm not doing anything. Is this yours? Then take it.
First, move your hand and let me see. Oh,
When a durian fruit is cut from the tree like this, it can't touch the ground even for a second. One hard drop and it'll explode instantly. That's why someone stands underneath with a thick sack, ready to catch it mid-air. It's insanely risky though, since a single durian can weigh several kilos and is packed with razor-sharp spikes. That's exactly why they use heavy sacks instead of bare hands. When a durian fruit is cut...
This teacher found a smart way to teach kids how to backflip using a giant foam moon. The little boy sits inside and the teacher gently rolls him backward. He slowly turns upside down, his legs lift into the air, and he lands safely on his feet. It looked so fun that the kid in yellow ran over right away to try it next. But sadly, these amazing kids still only got 2 likes. This teacher found a smart way to teach kids how to backflip using a giant foam moon. The little boy sits inside and the teacher gently rolls him backward. He slowly turns upside down, his legs lift into the air, and he lands safely on his feet. It looked so fun that the kid in yellow ran over right away to try it next. But sadly, these amazing kids still only got 2 likes. This teacher found a smart way to teach kids how to backflip using a giant foam moon. The little boy sits inside and the teacher gently rolls him backward. He slowly turns upside down, his legs lift into the air, and he lands.
Have you ever noticed how some public benches feel impossible to sit on comfortably? Many people think these benches are useless because they're uncomfortable to sit on, but there's an important reason behind it. You might notice some benches have dividers, slanted seats, or even metal spikes as barriers. This kind of design is called hostile architecture. Its purpose is to prevent homeless people from sleeping in public spaces for long periods. Do you agree with this? Have you ever noticed?
Why are these people risking their lives just to dodge an angry bull? The reason is much more interesting than you think. You see, every year, people gather in the streets, and they're all dressed almost the same. The crazy part is that multiple raging bulls are released into the streets, charging straight toward the crowd, even though...
Don't watch this video completely by mistake. Otherwise, you will also learn to make a cute mini lake of paper like this student. First of all, this boy colored the entire base with a blue marker, and as soon as he put water in it, the entire water turned blue like a lake. After that, he put a turtle and a fish in that lake. Then after seeing the final look, everyone pressed the like button. Don't watch this video completely by mistake. Otherwise, you will also learn to make a cute mini lake of paper like this student. First of all, this boy colored the entire base with a blue marker, and as soon as he put water in it, the entire water turned blue like a lake. After that, he put a turtle and a fish in that lake. Then after seeing the final look, everyone pressed the like button. Don't watch this video completely by mistake. Otherwise, you will all...
This training innovation could potentially turn you into the next Usain Bolt someday, but...
When this girl received her mom's old clothes, she noticed something surprising.
So my mom gave me some of her old clothes. Ever wonder why people get nervous while opening this bottle? Because this isn't a regular drink, it's kombucha tea. People usually drink it cold, not hot, but the real problem starts when you open it. During fermentation, CO2 gas builds up inside the drink. The moment the cap is opened, that pressure suddenly escapes and the liquid can shoot straight up. That's why sometimes half the bottle spills out as soon as it's opened. To avoid
This dolphin jumped out of the water to receive a massage from his human friend, but when the man began to massage him, something black.
See, on Christmas Day, her mom placed a gift on her bed, and the girl, thinking it was from Santa, believed it to be a magical wand. Playfully, she picked it up and raised it toward the sky, and at that exact moment,
Why is this guy ruining his $1,000 drum by making a porthole?
What's the best first airsoft gun you can buy? Some people go for Springers because they're cheap, but you'll be cocking every shot, and in a real fight, that's a no-go. Gas guns could be a good choice because they feel amazing, but they're
Her mother was diagnosed with cancer and urgently needed $100,000 for medical treatment.
It is not the power of a katana that matters, but flawless technique. It is not how hard you strike, but the path you take to channel the steel that determines the outcome. The slightest tension in the wrist kills the cut. The steel jams, the energy dissipates. Yet the right angle and uninterrupted.
I'll steal all the candy eyes.
Hey you, give back everything you just stole.
Oh wow, I've been caught. I'll steal all the candy eyes.
Hey you, give back everything you just stole.
Oh wow, I've been caught. I'll steal all the...
Look, while this woman was getting a haircut, the barber made a big mistake and accidentally shaved part of her hair. He instantly panicked, tried to cover the spot with confidence, then nervously asked if she wanted to go fully clean because it would look cool.
Oh my...
Look, while this woman was getting a haircut, the barber made a...
Oh my god, Luna, we don't have any kids at...
If you ever see a staircase...
To keep a snowflake from melting or breaking, the temperature has to be extreme.
You know that when Iron Man opens his nanotech suit, he has to tap his chest. But characters like Black Panther and Spider-Man can open their suits automatically just by thinking. Now here's the interesting part. Spider-Man's nanotech suit wasn't even made by Tony Stark. So then why didn't Tony make his own nanotech Iron Man suit fully automatic? Well, the answer comes from a scene in Iron Man.
Could you really throw your battle axe and survive the fight? In fantasy, every warrior throws whatever axe they're holding, but this myth hides a deadly problem that could cost your life.
This dad took his daughter's phone away and made her do the house chores. But while the young lady was mopping the floor, she hooked the mop on a chair and made her dad fall.
In China, people are opening their mouths trying to eat something huge. But what is it that everyone is going crazy over? The truth is, in Chongqing,
This amazing art piece will take your breath away. A 6-hour performance in Paris where these artists get vacuum sealed. But can they really breathe? If you look here, they have a device that slowly sucks air between them. But there's also a transparent tube placed between two surfaces that allows the person inside the art piece to breathe, meaning they'll live to see another day. This amazing art piece will take your breath away. A 6-hour performance in Paris where these artists get vacuum sealed. But
do a handstand.
This man says that if you ever start sinking in water, never panic. Fear can make things worse and pull you deeper or into strong currents. Instead, stay calm.
Look, many people stop eating this type of orange during the cold season because some people in China have started filling oranges with a special liquid. When you put them in water, they don't float and they look like real oranges even though they aren't real. But when people found out these fake oranges are just toys for kids to play with and squeeze, they all gave it a like. Look, many people stop eating this type of orange during the cold season because some people in China have started filling oranges with a special liquid. When you put them in water, they don't float and they look like real oranges even though they aren't real. But when people found out these fake oranges are just toys for kids to play with and squeeze, they all gave it a like. Look, many people stop eating this type of orange during the cold season because some people in China have started filling oranges with a special liquid. When you put them in water, they don't float and they look like real oranges even though they aren't.
Leo smiled and purposely...
These adults decided to play a giant game of volleyball, but not in the normal way. Instead of using a normal-sized volleyball, they used a giant fluffy ball. It required perfect teamwork, and if one person made a mistake, the ball would fall and the game would be over.
Why do nurses pour leftover liquid nitrogen on the floor? It may look like they are trying to ruin it, as this substance is cold enough to freeze and destroy anything. But that is not even close to the real reason. It's actually because liquid nitrogen can't...
This artist is a genius, while creating a beautiful...
Ever noticed hockey players snapping or slamming their sticks before a game even begins? It might look like they're destroying expensive gear for no reason, but there's a purpose behind it. Before games, players often bend or hit their sticks in the...
When going beachcombing on the mudflat after the tide recedes, don't overlook those small...
as soon as this guy began to open the water packet and started cutting it slowly with a knife, everyone watching was shocked since no one could figure out what he was trying to do as he first cut the packet straight down and then started cutting it carefully. This guy showed up at the mall with a huge container because there was a big promotion. It said you could bring any container from home, and if it didn't fit inside the sphere, they would fill it with slushy for just 99 cents. But this guy pulled out a...
This guy knew the food was already perfect, but in this kitchen, only the boss's taste mattered. So when the boss tried it and asked for more salt, he didn't add anything. He simply mixed the pot, pretending to add salt, and when the boss returned for another...
This guy did such an insane promotion that people were like, wow. When the company
This boy was bullied at school just because he couldn't afford a pair of Nike socks, and when his dad found out what happened, he didn't have—
In China, this is known as one of the most secure boxes in existence, because if you decide to put your money here,
Look, up until now, you've been eating chips or snacks in the wrong way. The correct way to eat them is to first use scissors and cut the packet from the middle in a round shape. Then take a tissue paper, fold it twice from the sides and once from the center. By folding the tissue this way, you can easily eat the chips without getting your hands dirty. Look, up until now, you've been eating chips or snacks in the wrong way. The correct way to eat them—
This boy didn't know how much his father was willing to do for him. When his hair began to fall out, they both knew it was time to help him feel brave. The dad—
Fail this test and you will never become a Navy sailor. Dragging a victim to the surface might sound easy, but the moment you run out of breath, the victim panics. They will claw grab and push you down just to gasp for air, creating a chaos that could drown you both. Hit like if you know how to swim. Fail this test and you will never become a Navy sailor. Dragging a victim to the surface might sound easy, but the moment you run out of breath, the victim panics. They will claw grab and push you down just to gasp for air, creating a chaos.
When this guy claimed he could turn a glass into a mirror, it sounded like magic and made no sense to
Batman or The Rock?
That's why you should never give up. Everyone was sure the girl with the green ball would win. She kept choosing correctly and was one step from victory. But at the crucial moment,
Look, this barber tried to cut her hair, but then he found out that the girl had been in a motorbike accident. Because of the head injury, she had lost some of her hair. But her wedding was only 2 days away, so she needed to find a way to hide the injury, or the wedding might get canceled. Thankfully, the barber made her a perfect wig that looked completely real, and to everyone's—
This guy came across stool like online ordered without really knowing how work. When finally arrived at his place, he tried to sit on but way harder than expected because legs kept folding over again. After nearly 20 minutes of non-stop struggle, he finally adjusted the legs correctly, and only then was he able to sit on it for a few seconds without it moving. This guy came across stool like online ordered without really knowing how work. When finally arrived at his place, he tried to sit on but way harder than This guy has the most unique workouts, and he is also incredibly committed to being the best at what he does. That's why he trains everywhere and anytime he can. He does it all because his goal is to become the fastest speed skater on the planet, and this is what he looks like in real competitions. But first,
This guy's wife threatened to leave him because he couldn't afford a new washing machine. But instead of giving up, he built the most genius laundry system ever using only scrap parts. First, he attached an old fan to a bucket to scrub the dirt out automatically. Then, he created a manual centrifuge that spins so fast it dries the clothes in seconds.
This man wanted to learn to swim. On the first day,
What happens if you try to capture a breathing sand? Because this little guy noticed something strange bubbling underneath the sand, like it was actually breathing. Most people would have run away, but instead he looked closer because whatever was under there.
This was her first day on the job, and her only job was turning potatoes into fries. But as soon as she tried using the machine, everything went wrong. She struggled for a moment until an experienced worker stepped in, and with one smooth motion, she finished the task like it was.
Look, this guy builds the most dangerous toilets in the world, and they're not normal at all. As soon as someone lets their guard down a little, the plates underneath suddenly start moving, and the person loses their balance completely. In addition to this,
Look, these guys actually built a BMW using 1,000 balloons. But little did they know, their biggest mistake was making it on the 3rd floor. Because now, they had to figure out how to bring it down safely. And not only that, but they had to be extremely careful not to pop any balloons. Because the thing is, if one accidentally burst, the whole thing could completely explode. So by gathering as many people as they could, they lowered the car using great care and focus. But even after all that, they only received 2 likes. Look, these guys actually built a BMW using 1,000 balloons. But little did they know, their biggest mistake was making it on the 3rd.
Which is better, airsoft or paintball? Well, it depends on a few things, but if you're looking for the most realistic experience, airsoft is the way to go. Airsoft guns are almost exact replicas of real.
This Russian girl, known as the Ice Queen of Russia, is a complete Sigma when it comes to freezing.
3 things in Japan that just make sense. First, in Japan, people use this egg timer while boiling eggs. With its help, you can boil eggs exactly the way you like. It has 3 levels that show how well the egg is cooked from the inside. As it heats up, it changes color, so by looking at it, you can decide when your egg is boiled just right. Next, in this shop in Japan, you can make chopsticks according to your preference. First, you select the type of wood. Then, with the help of a machine, the wood is...
Meet this farmer who uses a special technique to bring apples down from thousands of feet in height. He hangs a bucket on a rope, and the bucket slowly moves downward because it has a bearing installed in it. If this farmer did not use this technology, it would take him the entire evening just to carry one.
How do they get that ball inside the stone lion's mouth? A cat spent all morning trying to paw it out but didn't have any luck. The secret lies in a clever technique called hollow carving. After sculpting the lion's fierce exterior, the stonemason hollows out the mouth. How do they get that ball inside the stone lion's mouth? A cat spent all morning trying to paw it out but didn't have any luck. The secret lies in a clever technique called hollow carving. After sculpting the lion's fierce exterior, the stonemason hollows out the mouth. How do they get that ball inside the stone lion's mouth? A cat spent all morning trying to paw it out but didn't have any luck. The secret lies... How do they get that ball inside the stone lion's mouth? A cat spent all morning trying to paw it out but didn't have any luck. The secret lies in a clever technique called hollow carving. After sculpting the lion's fierce exterior, the stonemason hollows out the mouth, carefully shaping a ball inside. With patient grinding and smoothing, they create a perfectly round ball that rolls around freely, all while staying trapped in the lion's jaws. These days, some craftsmen prefer a quicker approach. They carve the ball first, slice it in half, pop it inside the lion's mouth, and then glue it back together. Another trick is to open up the lion's front teeth, slip the ball in, and then close the teeth back up, nice and neat. But here's a fun question. Why is there a ball in the lion's mouth in the first place? How do they... It's currently durian harvesting season, and many people think that picking durians is very dangerous. It's currently durian harvesting season, and many people think that picking durians is very dangerous. However, for professional durian pickers, it's a job that requires a lot of skill. Before picking a durian, they knock on it to determine if it's ripe. When a durian is dropped from the tree,
the younger brother used soap to make a fake...
This is the hardest game at the Arca Arcade. You have to push the bowling ball past the first...
Look, if you ever visit China, never sit in this kind of boat by mistake. Just look at this poor man. When his boat gets close to a bridge in the middle of the river, he's the first to jump out and start pulling the boat with all his strength. And sometimes the people sitting inside refuse to get out, which makes his job even harder. But somehow he still manages to pull the boat to the other side and continue the journey. So give this hard-working man a like too. Look, if you ever visit China, never sit in this kind of boat by mistake. Just look at this poor man. When his boat gets close to a bridge in the middle of the river, he's the first to jump out and start pulling the boat with all his strength. And sometimes the people sitting inside refuse to get out, which makes his job even harder. But somehow he still manages to pull the boat to the other side and continue the journey. So give this hard-working man a like too. Look, if you ever visit China, never sit in this kind of boat by mistake. Just look at this poor man. When his boat gets close to a bridge in the middle of the river, he's the first to jump out and start pulling the boat with all his strength. And sometimes the people sitting inside refuse to get out, which makes his job even harder. But somehow he still manages to pull the boat to the other side and continue the journey. So give this hard-working man a like too. Look, if you ever visit...
This device works like a treadmill, but for swimmers, the current is so intense that if you stop moving, it feels like the water might pull you under. You can see the stream surging through the pool, making you swim as if your life depended on it. But don't worry.
This chef takes a hot pot out of the oven and flips it upside down. It looks exactly like one huge cake. At first, it seems very
Have you ever seen someone pour a cold drink on a car window and it suddenly explodes? A lot of people think it's a new trick used by thieves to break into cars, and honestly, they're not completely wrong. Most cars have tempered glass, and if there's even a tiny hidden crack, the moment cold soda touches the hot
This is why you should never open a brand new mattress the way this girl did. Because when she and her boyfriend came back from IKEA, she started opening the mattress that was tightly compressed in its packaging, and that turned out to be a huge mistake. But here's the craziest part. Her boyfriend knew exactly what was about to happen, and he pulled out his phone to record it. This is why you should never open a brand new mattress the way this girl did. Because when she...
Ever wondered what it feels like to get hit by a paintball? In paintball, there are two main types of ammo.
Darling, please, give me some fries.
These aren't fries, this is juice.
Darling, please, give me some fries.
These aren't fries, this is juice.
Darling, please, give me some fries.
These aren't fries, this is juice.
Darling, please, give me some fries.
These aren't fries, this is juice.
Darling, please, give me some fries.
These aren't fries, this is juice.
Darling, please, give me some fries.
These aren't fries, this is...
This woman broke the handcuffs in front of the police officer immediately after she...
What you're seeing is not an ordinary craft class. In Japan, primary school children are regularly taught woodworking as part of their education. Even young kids learn how to safely use saws.
When this guy tests how sharp the knife is, it slices through paper like it's nothing, but he still calls it bad and walks away. After that, everyone else who comes by tests it too and leaves unimpressed, even though a knife like this can cut through tough things like tires.
Look at how this guy fooling everyone. He showed faucet floating in midair with no visible support. People checked from every angle, but couldn't find anything holding up. To make even more convincing, he dipped his hand into the flowing water. Everyone thought it was magic until the twist was revealed. Inside the faucet was a hidden transparent pipe that supported it the whole time. Look at how this guy fooling everyone. He showed faucet floating in midair with no visible support. People checked from every angle, but couldn't find anything holding up. To make even more convincing, he dipped his hand into the flowing water. Everyone thought it was magic until the twist was revealed.
This guy didn't like going to school at all. He was more interested in his father's business. When his father found out, he thought, why not teach him the basic?
This is why people say China is already living in 2050. This train doesn't use tracks at all. It runs on normal roads, just like a bus. There are no steel rails. Instead, it uses cameras, sensors, and GPS to follow painted lines on the road, which act as virtual tracks. This is why people say China is already living in 2050. This train doesn't use tracks at all. It runs on normal roads, just like a bus. There are no steel rails. Instead, it uses cameras, sensors, and GPS to follow painted lines on the road, which act as virtual tracks. This is why people...
This man's wife was furious because he drove a forklift onto their expensive marble floor. She told him to throw away this ugly log, but he refused to listen. He carved out the center and installed...
Watch closely. He crawls under a massive wooden chariot and slams a wooden block into the wheel. One slip, it's over. People ask, why wood? Why no brakes? Because this is an Indian sacred chariot festival. The chariot is building tall, weighs hundreds of tons, and has no bearings, no brakes. Thousands pull it forward. So a brakeman dives underneath, jamming wood into the wheel, inch by inch, controlling speed and direction. Pure tradition, pure precision. Watch closely. He crawls under a
Meet Alex, the guy who broke the internet with his unique washing machine. See, at first, instead of a normal tub, he used a laundry basket to toss in his clothes and get them ready to wash. Then it gets even crazier because instead of an actual motor, he uses a bicycle to spin the laundry basket and get the clothes clean. Later, he dries his clothes.
It's the most perfect revenge.
This man's wife was very angry because this giant mattress took up the entire living room floor. She yelled at him to throw it away, but he told her to wait and watch. He quickly folded the sides up and arranged the red cushions. Suddenly, the messy bed transformed into a stylish, luxury sofa. It saved so much space, but his wife said she will still return it if he doesn't get 2 likes. This man's wife was very angry because this giant mattress took up the entire living room floor. She yelled at him to throw it away, but he told her to wait and watch. He quickly folded the sides up and arranged the red cushions. Suddenly, the messy bed transformed into a stylish, luxury sofa.
This little girl bought the Red Bull app.
Why do tennis players destroy their rackets before the match even starts?
This school has a cool tradition where the high school students all come together to play with the rainbow parachute they
This guy creates the most hyper-realistic paintings you'll ever see, and they look so real that anything...
The boy in the black suit fell badly from his bicycle while trying to win the race. As soon as the race started, he rode very fast and thought he would easily win by speeding ahead. But he didn't realize that the boy in the white suit was still right behind him. The boy in the black suit moved ahead, fell down hard, but in the end, he still managed to win the race. The boy in the black suit fell badly from his bicycle while trying to win the race. As soon as the race started, he rode very fast and thought he would easily win by speeding ahead. But he didn't realize that the boy in the white suit...
Did you know you could build a house without concrete or steel? Because these blocks uses next-generation click-lock block system that snaps to...
Never even by mistake put marbles on this stone, or you'll never be able to stop it in your life because its grandfather had designed it from childhood in such a way that when marbles roll along the path, everyone thinks they are going downward. But
Look, inside this man's house, there is absolutely no gravity. When he opened the lid of the sugar jar...
After watching a horror movie late at night, this girl was already on edge. Her heart was racing, so she went to the bathroom to splash some water on her face and calm down. She had no idea her brother had quietly snuck in and stuck a creepy ghost picture on the mirror as a prank. Before you see what happens, try liking and subscribing without taking a breath. Yeah, you probably can't. The second she looked up at the mirror, she saw it and let out a terrified scream. She was so...
Look, this man was standing on the train for so long that he was really tired, so he pulled out a small stool and sat down. But when he saw this girl carrying so many things while standing, he handed her a magic bag he made himself. But why did he call it a magic bag? Because no matter how many things...
When this guy tried water skating for the first time, he crashed straight into the water. On his second attempt, he fell again, this time into deep...
When the barber finished cutting his...
These guys invented the hardest trust fall in history, because after making it to the top of this pole, the only thing protecting them from falling face first onto the mat after they let go is the bond.
This is how handball players normally keep their balls sticky, by using a special resin and applying it around their ball. But when this guy found himself alone after practice, he grabbed his coach's resin and decided to do the wildest thing.
Look at this. When the boy realizes he can get unlimited ice cream ingredients at the mall for a very small price, he gets...
Again and again, a junior high school student makes a scene at his school after experiencing a funny
This girl found a mysterious black card on the ground and realized it was a key for a Tesla Cybertruck. She was shocked to see the car parked right there, so she decided to try and open it. But she made a big mistake because she didn't know where the sensor was. She swiped it on the door, tapped it on the window, and even tried the charging port. But the car refused to unlock. She got so frustrated.
I went to the beach and I'd never seen this type of bird that walks on one leg before. They're very curious. What do you think? I went to the beach and I'd never seen this type of bird that walks on one leg before. They're very curious. What do you think? I went to the beach and I'd never seen this type of bird that walks on one leg before. They're very curious. What do you think?
This guy uses a smart technique to collect iron sheets in the factory. When the boss saw him, he thought he would never finish the job. But look closely, and you'll realize how perfect his method.
This man built secret room inside his house so well hidden not even thieves or even police could find. The entrance doesn't look like door at all. Once it's closed, blends perfectly into floor so seamlessly even if you're standing right on top of it, you'd never guess there's hidden underground room beneath your feet. This man built secret room inside his house so well hidden not even thieves or even police could find. The entrance.
Look,
This man built secret room inside his house so well hidden not even thieves or even police could find. The entrance doesn't look like door at all. Once it's closed, blends perfectly into floor so seamlessly even if you're standing right on top of it, you'd never guess there's hidden underground room beneath your feet. This man built secret room inside his house so well hidden not even thieves or even police could find. The entrance doesn't look like door at all. Once it's closed, blends perfectly into floor so seamlessly even if you're standing right.
Look, this guy made a big mistake because he had to paint the whole stadium and he was almost done with just one spot left in the middle. The new worker thought he couldn't get out after painting it, but the man was a pro and showed him how it's done. He moved out slowly while painting the circle, but there was a lot of extra paint left on the floor, so he grabbed a shovel and scooped up the extra paint. Let's give him a like for his skill. Look, this guy made a big mistake because he had to paint the whole stadium and he was almost done with just one spot left in the middle. The new worker thought he couldn't get out after painting it, but the man was a pro and showed him how it's done. He moved out slowly while painting the circle, but there was a lot of extra paint left on the floor, so he grabbed a shovel and scooped up the extra paint. Let's give him a like for his skill. Look, this guy made a big mistake because he had.
This guy just built a bridge cross.
After teaching for years, this teacher could never understand why the board never looked clean. No matter how much she erased it, the marker stain.
This man cheated to make this girl win the race. It all started with a simple task, handing her a bottle of water from the car while she was running. But after giving her the water, he asked her to come closer so he could put more bottles on her back.
Whenever a customer orders for a cold coffee at this restaurant,
what you are seeing is the reason why a single glass wall in large zoo.
Look what happened in the middle of a picnic in India. They were eating and a tornado appeared and swept away everything in its path. Look what happened in the middle of a picnic in India. They were eating and a tornado appeared and swept away everything.
Never open a mattress like this. One wrong move, and in seconds, things can go very wrong. Most people don't realize that compressed mattresses are packed with stored energy.
A few days ago, these grandparents went viral on social media because it's so cold in their village in China. They have to cover themselves not with one, but with 16 blankets to be able to sleep. In fact, they need their daughter's help to pull the blankets down for them. In the end, only their faces are visible so they can breathe, but the rest of their bodies are completely covered. If you love your grandparents, leave a like. A few days ago, these grandparents went viral on social.
This prank has been tricking teachers for more than 30 years, and somehow it still works every single time. All it takes is spraying a little hand sanitizer onto a whiteboard. This mom kindly let her son use the foot bath after she was finished, but it was actually a trap. The water was basically...
Oh my God, Mom, why are you hitting my...
Look, this barber tried to cut her hair, but then he found out that the girl had been in a motorbike accident. Because of the head injury, she had lost some of her hair. But her wedding was only 2 days away, so she needed to find a way to hide the injury, or the wedding might get canceled. Thankfully, the barber made her a perfect wig that looked completely real. And to everyone's surprise, the barber told her the wig is free if she can at least get 2 likes. Look, this barber tried to cut her hair, but then he found out that the girl had been in a motorbike accident. Because of the head injury, she had lost some of her hair. But her wedding was only 2 days away, so she needed to find a way to hide the injury, or the wedding might get canceled. Thankfully, the barber made her a perfect wig that looked completely real. And to everyone's surprise, the barber told her the wig is free if she can at least get 2 likes. Look, this barber tried to cut her hair, but then he found out that the girl had been in a motorbike accident. Because of the head injury, she had lost some of her hair. But her wedding was only 2 days away, so she needed to find a way to hide the injury, or the wedding might get canceled. Thankfully, the barber made her a perfect wig that looked completely real. And to everyone's surprise, the barber told her, "Look, this guy sold his house and bought a car, and when he came back, his wife got very angry at him and asked where they would live now. So he took her for a drive and showed her how much space the car had. Then she asked where they would sleep, so he showed her that they could adjust the seats and sleep easily. After that, she complained about hot weather, but he showed that the car also had air conditioning. But the wife said he would still have to return the car."
The moment people see this road, everyone is convinced it's impossible to cross. The damage is so severe that warning signs have been put up to block it off. But one man refuses to back down. After carefully checking the route, he makes a bold decision and hits the gas. While others hesitate, he does the unthinkable, successfully making it across a road everyone thought was impassable. The moment people see this road, everyone is convinced it's impossible to cross. The damage is so severe that warning signs have been put up to block it off. But one man refuses to back down. After carefully checking the route, he makes a bold decision and hits the gas. While others hesitate, he does the unthinkable, successfully making it across a road everyone thought was impassable. The moment
This bear saw a man eating bread with honey and immediately raised his paw asking for some too. The man spread a bit of honey on the bread, then paused, wondering how he could hand it to the bear. That's when the bear lifted his head.
The moment people see this road, everyone is convinced it's impossible to cross. The damage is so severe that warning signs have been put up to block it off. But one man refuses to back down. After carefully checking the route, he makes a bold decision and hits the gas. While others hesitate, he does the unthinkable, successfully making it across a road everyone thought was impassable. The moment people see this road, everyone is convinced it's impossible to cross. The damage is so severe that warning signs have been put up to block it off. But one man refuses to back down. After carefully
This bear saw a man eating bread with honey and immediately raised his paw asking for some too. The man spread a bit of honey on the bread, then paused, wondering how he could hand.
Look how this guy was fooling tourists at an ancient monument. He told everyone that this was a magical faucet that wasn't.
This young woman has been training for 6 months for a race to raise funds for her father's medical care. In the race, she must run 100 meters around a hoop without touching the ground. Her mother, who is also her coach, makes her train 5 or 6 hours a day. One small mistake could ruin all her effort. Despite this, only 2 people liked her post to show their support. This young woman has been training for 6 months for a race to raise funds for her father's medical care. In the race, she must run 100 meters around a hoop without touching the ground. Her mother, who is also her coach, makes her train 5 or 6 hours a day. One small mistake could ruin all her effort. Despite this, only 2 people liked her post to show their support. This young woman has been training for 6 months for a race to raise funds for her father's medical care. In the race, she must run 100 meters around a hoop without touching the ground. Her mother, who is also her coach, makes her train 5 or 6 hours a day. One small mistake could ruin all her effort. Despite this, only...
Hey, hands off! I got it first!
No, you didn't. I was here before.
When the owner put a deal at the opening of a new branch that if anyone could pull their container out of the hole, it would be filled with Slurpee. So early in the morning, this boy reached the shop with a very big bowl. After seeing it, it looked difficult that the boy would be able to do anything, but the boy was...
This is why you should never sit inside a folding sofa. This girl decided to copy a TikTok challenge that completely went wrong. At first, it looks like a harmless challenge.
It was the teacher's first day at the school, and the students were waiting outside to welcome her. When she walked into the classroom, everyone assumed she was the new teacher. Instantly, the entire class stood up to...
Imagine building a massive bridge without stopping traffic. That's exactly what China did. They finished it next to the road, fully operational city below, then rotated the bridge like it...
This soldier could imitate his commander's voice, and when he saw the soldiers busy with their cell phones, which were not allowed indoors,
he bought this boat-powered fishing net because he wanted to catch fish without even stepping into the pond. As soon as he turned it on, the boat picked up full speed and pulled the net straight into the middle of the water. If the entire net went too far, it would never come back. So he quickly grabbed it and pulled it back to the shore, curious to see whether it caught even a single fish or not. But what he saw next shocked him.
What looks like a disaster on the floor actually saved the entire building. It's called gel impregnation.
Look at this silly girl. What exactly is she trying to prove? First, she puts all sorts of bright colors in her hair, and then, not stopping there, she applies shampoo and starts combing with both hands.
When this guy was dancing near a pool, his movements seemed normal at first sight. However, if you pay...
After opening the gift, the boy realized his mother had bought the wrong present because inside was a PS5 controller. He couldn't use it to play games since he didn't have the
This girl brings a very large...
They put a fake hat in the middle of the road and launched 36 cars. This is why most people don't realize how impressive this workout is until they watch till the end.
Why is this person frying a piece of wood? You might think it's meant to be eaten, but actually it's done to preserve a wooden cut.
This girl put on fake teeth to look prettier, but surprisingly, when it was time to remove them, they refused to come off no matter what. So seeing this, she panicked and rushed to the cheapest dentist. But once the procedure was
This is a famous game in Vietnam called Mud Cannon. Players lift big blocks of wet mud and slam them on.
Look, you win $10,000 if you finish this race, and this woman really needed the money for her daughter. But as soon as she started running, she slipped and lost. Her daughter felt sad seeing her mom cry, so she decided to run for her. The coach told her not to run. He said, "Your mom fell, so you will fall too." But she didn't listen and... This teacher challenged her students. Whoever could draw a perfect heart on the board beside her would receive a surprise. One by one, they tried. Some drew wobbly lines.
This man suddenly jumps into the water. But this is not an ordinary pool activity. This is just...
Oh my god, Dad! Look, everything has fallen under the car seat!
Oh no, Emma. Now what will we do? This stuff will be really hard to take out.
Don't worry, Dad. Why wouldn't it come out? Look, I bought a new gadget for you. Just place it next to the car seat.
Look, this boatman made a big mistake. While crossing a narrow bridge with passengers on board, everyone realized something might go wrong. Trying to show off his skills, the boatman jumped onto the bridge, but he made a mistake because it took him too long to jump back. He started running, but the boat slowly drifted away without him. The boatman quickly handed over the pole he was using so the passengers could grab it, pull the boat back, and...
From this video, we finally understand why Galapagos tortoises walk so slowly. A man tried to mimic the tortoise's gait by wearing a shell on his back. He probably thought he could manage a few meters, but before he could even go far, he gave up because the weight was immense. From this video,
Buses in Australia can move from roads to rails in seconds.
When you see a moving staircase like this, your first instinct is to walk up it normally, but that's the worst thing you can do. The moment you step on, your balance feels completely off. But here's the clever part. As the staircase moves down,
This guy plays basketball on difficulty extreme because every time he misses the hoop, there's a good chance the ball drops all the way down to the bottom floor. And even though his neighbors already warned him that it's dangerous, he keeps playing anyway until he doesn't miss a single shot and becomes a pro player. This guy plays basketball on difficulty extreme because every time he misses the hoop, there's a good chance the ball drops all the way down to
This man said his dog's favorite words, but right after that, he pretended to fall asleep, and his dog's reaction is priceless.
It's a good day to go for a walk.
This Dunkin' Donuts worker couldn't stand seeing food go to waste, so instead of tossing the leftovers at the end of the night, he carefully packed them up and shared them with people experiencing homelessness, along with a heartfelt handwritten note. And he didn't stop there. He also delivered some. This Dunkin' Donuts worker couldn't stand seeing food go to waste, so instead of tossing the leftovers at the end of the night, he carefully packed them up and shared them with people experiencing homelessness, along with a heartfelt handwritten note. And he didn't stop there. He also delivered some. This Dunkin' Donuts worker couldn't stand seeing food go to waste, so instead of tossing the leftovers...
Look, when this guru couldn't cut the pumpkin in one go, he told his disciple to sharpen the sword, but the disciple was new, so he used his ingenuity and kept rubbing the sword against different stone.
This woman discovered something really shocking after she removed this old carpet of her house, because when she...
If you threw ice cubes into the Pacific Ocean to freeze it, you would need to throw 50 trillion bags of ice every second for a century. This man creates paintings so realistic that reality itself seems...
Si tu barba sigue creciendo, sin importar cuántas veces te afeites,
Look closely. This video could help save your life if you ever get stuck in an ice pit. Escaping an ice pit might seem incredibly easy, but in reality, it's the complete opposite. Escaping is much harder than you think, even though at first glance it looks simple, because the... Look closely. Have you ever wondered how a badminton shuttle is made? It starts with goose or duck feathers. Machines cut them into the same length and shape. Then each feather is bent and trimmed at a precise angle, so the shuttle stays stable in the air. Finally, 16 feathers are carefully inserted into a cork base. The spacing has to be perfect. That's what gives a shuttle its smooth and accurate flight. Have you ever wondered how a badminton shuttle is made? It starts with goose.
This worker accidentally broke floor tile in house. When he realized couldn't be fixed original way, he came up with creative.
When this girl was told to hold her hair tight.
Why nurses throw syringes at their shoes? Some people think they're just being silly, but dropping them is actually a matter of survival.
When the hairdresser tries to cut her hair a little, the girl... Not all the children who appear in movies are real. A mannequin face is used, then makeup is...
Have you ever wondered why people place their phones over this ancient incense burner? In this centuries-old Chinese temple, traditions suddenly take an intriguing turn. For hundreds of years, people visited to touch its steel censer, seeking luck and blessings. Today, the ritual has taken a strange...
And this is the safest phone case.
This is why you never eat at a restaurant where your dad is the... Some people say they want to learn this move that comes from Shaolin.
Why do these people pour liquid nitrogen onto the floor like this? It's not because they're wasting it. The reason is that liquid nitrogen can't really be stored overnight. It evaporates extremely fast, and even a small leftover amount can build pressure, damage the container, and become unsafe. Plus, it can't be reused the next day. That's why, after the work shift ends, they safely pour the...
Look, while this woman was getting a haircut, the barber made a big mistake and accidentally shaved part of her hair. He instantly panicked, tried to cover the spot with confidence, then nervously asked if she wanted to go fully clean because it would look cool anyway. When he finished, the woman looked in the mirror and realized she now...
This guy proved that no matter how badly a toilet is clogged, you can clear it with just one good push. To test it, he first stuffed the drain with cloth so tight that even water couldn't pass. Then he filled it up and showed that using that vacuum...
You threw my cat to see how we wait about 30 hours for the foam to fully firm up and for the sofa to be ready to use. This couple bought a vacuum-packed sofa. As soon as the plastic was opened, the sofa slowly began to expand. But even after getting bigger, the shape still wasn't perfect. All they could do...
In Japan, there's a pool filled entirely...
Su padre lo dejó solo y este niño hizo lo imposible.
The internet calls him a superhuman, but his insane reaction speed played a cruel joke.
This boy was missing for hours, so his dad finally checked the living room and noticed a strange cardboard spaceship sitting there. He assumed his son was asleep inside, but the moment he opened the hatch, he couldn't believe his eyes. The boy had created the ultimate gaming pod with a projector screen built into the ceiling.
This might be the cheapest way to build a house that actually lasts. Instead of bricks or concrete, they fill ordinary bags.
All the boys told this girl she wasn't strong enough to play with them. They thought she would be an easy opponent, but she instantly shocked everyone.
Look, when this worker gets challenged to build a football using floor tiles, he happily accepts and gets straight to work. First, he draws a football design on the floor. Then he carefully measures and cuts small pieces of white tile and does the same with black tiles. Once everything is ready, he cuts the floor into the shape of a football and slowly starts placing each tile piece one by one. And in the end, he creates a beautiful football design on the floor. Yet somehow, this worker only got 2 liked. Look, when this worker gets challenged to build...
Everyone doubted this woman because she couldn't drive, so she got this futuristic bike. She dropped...
Look, the Chinese don't even forgive glass bottles anymore because while people...
Dad, wait! Don't knock down the card tower yet!
Why, son? What?
This guy, who works at a high...
This man designed a 2-person argument-preventing bed. If one person suddenly gets up, the bed automatically makes certain adjustments. If your girlfriend's feet are...
A mother, desperate to stop her daughter from falling in love, tied her up. At that moment, the boyfriend sent a signal. A flying ball smashed into the mother's water cup.
People got angry at the match officials after this runner was declared the winner of this race without even moving, because while everyone was waiting at the...
This guy was painting happily when suddenly he accidentally brushed his friend's face. But then they had to carry a very long chair into the house. And despite all their efforts, it was so big it just wouldn't fit. But fortunately, one of them had an idea. He started to cut the chair in half. His friend just looked at him, unable to believe how smart he was. And although the useless...
Look, this man used a clever trick to fool thieves. He made a secret spot in his cupboard to hide money, so well hidden that not even his relatives could find or steal it. First, he pulls out a rack from the bottom, then takes out a small wooden piece, uses a key, and then...
This little guy probably has one of the most satisfying jobs in the world because he renovates floors. To start, he removes the old floor using a powerful machine, which is insanely satisfying to watch. But the process really depends on the type of...
This guy was jumping on a trampoline but lost control of his timing. The result? A trampoline rebound phenomenon. Here's what happens. The trampoline is already bouncing back up. It creates...
This mom was very angry because her son kept losing...
Este hombre quería saber qué pasaría si le daba...
Por muy juntas que estén las tablas de un barco.
This guy thought the money counting machine wasn't working right, so he slipped in some blank...
Look, this girl was slacking off in class, and what happened next will surprise you. The teacher punished her with a pile of
This guy's girlfriend packed a gigantic suitcase just to bring all her shoes. But then he showed her the new Crocs he got her, and she instantly fell in love with them and abandoned her entire suitcase. But when they tried to get into a festival, the security guard refused to let.
He was walking back when he saw these kids looking at his Lambo, so he went up to them and asked them this.
Y'all sit in it? Y'all sit in it? Yeah! I have no idea whose car it is. I'm just kidding. Come on. No, come on. I was just messing with you. I know, it is.
This child was being bitten by a mosquito. His parents rushed over to him and began to lower the bed. Dad climbed onto the bed and began to spread the net on all sides.
You can do anything except walk through the middle.
When this guy's roommate told him to hide the house key in a safe place, he put it between a rock and left it among thousands of similar-looking rocks, making it impossible for any thief to break into the house. But he forgot to think about how they would open the door themselves, so they ended up spending the whole night.
When this man got the glove, he decided to test the strength it was being promoted for. He tried to cut it with a blade, but the glove held up. Even when he pulled it hard, it seemed to adapt to the pressure thanks to its high flexibility. Then he tried to puncture it, and it showed strong resistance again. The reason? Nitrile butadiene, a synthetic polymer made of long chains that are linked by strong bonds, giving excellent resistance to tearing and cutting while maintaining great flexibility. When this man got the glove,
this boy has a rare skill, but the contractor warned him that if he found any fault, he would not pay even $1. So the boy said, "No problem. I have many years of experience." He kept putting paint on the roller and smoothing the wall. Only a small part was left to finish, but he made a big mistake. He left the sides unpainted properly. Because of that mistake, the contractor cut his payment, and he didn't get a single like. This boy has a rare skill, but the contractor warned him that if he found any fault, he would not pay even $1. So the boy said, "No problem. I have many years of experience." He kept putting...
This little boy likes to...
Why does she pour liquid nitrogen onto the floor after every shift? It looks like clean.
This girl accidentally dropped her skateboard into a dried up lake. When she looked down, all she could see was what seemed to be quicksand. That terrified her because she thought that if she...
People literally risk their lives just to bake this bread. In Armenia, making lavash bread isn't an easy task. It's the thinnest and longest bread in the world, and the way it's made is extremely dangerous. Bakers lean deep inside an underground...
If you tried to move a tank using ants, you would need 60 million of these tiny strongmen pulling...
Have you ever wondered why some public benches are designed like this? Even though they look stylish, their main
Looking to sell my copy of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, first edition. It's a paperback version, yep. This is what started it all, and when nobody knew who Harry Potter was.
This student instantly panicked when he saw the teacher doing a phone inspection in the...
This ice is for my dad. This one's for my mom. This one's for my brother. This one's for my sister Emily. And the one in the middle, that's mine. This ice is for my dad. This one's for my mom. This one's for my brother. This one's for my sister Emily. And the one in the middle, that's mine. This ice is for my dad. This one's for my mom. This one's for my brother. This one's for my sister Emily. And the one in the middle, that's mine. This...
His wife had forbidden him from drinking alcohol at the party, so before it started, he made a small hole in his cup and told his friends he was really craving a drink. In front of them, he took just a few sips and then set the cup down on the table. Thanks to the hole, the liquid...
When this girl bought a house from China, it was so slanted that she couldn't reach the top. Even when she tried running at full speed, she didn't get far and ended up sliding down. However, she thought it was because the house was dirty, so she decided to mop the floor. But
look, this barber tried to cut her hair, but then he found out that the girl had been in a motorbike accident. Because of the head injury, she had lost some of her hair. But her wedding was only 2 days away, so she needed to find a way to hide the injury, or the wedding might get canceled. Thankfully, the barber made her a perfect wig that looked...
This boy really showed everyone that just washing clothes in a washing machine for 1 month can make it very dirty. From the outside, it looked completely clean, but as soon as water was added, a lot of dirt came out. He even opened the bolts because companies often tighten the lid very strongly to hide this. That's why he had to use a rope to open it. After that, the inside...
These students were bored, so their teacher set up a science experiment no one expected. He asked them to touch the static sphere and sit around while joining all their hands, and nobody expected what happened next. When the last student joined, they all felt
Most people fail this canoe test in
This guy walked in and every lady popped their balloons, but their reaction when they found out what he does for a living was priceless.
My name is Romeo Pugh.
Romeo, how old are you?
I'm 32.
And where are you from?
From Miami, Florida, but I stay in Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right, so we did get some pop balloons. Let's go on over there and see why they ended up popping.
My name's Amber. I'm 30 years old. I pop just...
Why can this guy walked in and every lady popped their balloons, but their reaction...
Why can the same soda taste different in different self-serve soda machines? Inside the dispenser, right under the cover.
When it rained heavily in the mountains, his house got submerged in water, and everything inside was swept away by the flood, leaving nothing but sadness. People often think life in the mountains is peaceful and easy, but in reality it's full.
When you see this, you will realize how advanced China is. In some houses, just pressing a button, this cameraman has a rather quirky job because he has to close this little opening in the glass every time players come flying towards him. And just by seeing the sheer force of these collisions, you'll understand why this...
Hey, Kate, see that big truck? I bet I can make its tires explode. I'm going to switch to battle mode. First, I'm going to fill my water gun with water. Ready? I'm about to start firing.
Wow, that's awesome.
This guy bought a Batman wallet to see what would his face look like once he inserted his ID. So he carefully...
Oh my God, Mom, what are you doing? Please stop. Don't bring your Baker car toward the field, or else your car will go inside the field. Oh God, Mom, have you gone crazy? What have you done now? The owner of the field will beat you a lot.
This boy is in huge trouble because when he was sleeping, this really weird creature had crawled into his ear. So he rushed to the doctor to get it removed, but it turns out...
Look carefully. This girl lives in a room that looks completely normal, but no one knows the truth hidden above it. Right in the ceiling, there's a secret room. As soon as she...
When the barber was about to cut her hair, he found out that the girl had been in a serious motorbike accident, and because of that head injury, she had lost some of her hair. But her wedding was only 2 days away, so she needed to find a way to hide the injury, or the wedding might get cancelled. Luckily, the barber made a wig so perfect that it looked completely real, and to everyone's surprise, the barber said the wig is free if she can at least get 2 likes. When the barber was about to cut her hair, he found out that the girl had been in a...
Look, the little boy was about to cross the drainage ditch, but it seemed he couldn't make it. The man immediately helped the little boy and even built a
This girl ordered what she thought was bacon and waited for it to cook. She checked once, still raw, waited again, still nothing.
Can you tell me what this round...
From now on, I won't try to communicate with you normally. I'll communicate like this.
My love, shall we go eat hamburgers? Okay, never mind. Let's go to your favorite pizza place.
This really works.
Come on, we've eaten. Let's go home. Okay, if everyone likes the video, let's go get some coffee.
From now on, I won't try to communicate with you normally. I'll communicate like this.
My love, shall we go eat hamburgers? Okay, never mind. Let's go to your favorite pizza place.
This really works.
Come on, we've eaten. Let's go home. Okay, if everyone likes the video, let's go get some coffee.
From now on, I won't try to communicate with you normally.
People are calling this food truck a massive scam. In the UK, there's a food truck that charges £15.
Este fregadero antiguo vale $7,000 y debe limpiarse 2 veces al día. This poor boy was taking a selfie with an expensive car, and when the car owner arrived, he started...
Oh my God, Dad, look!
What happens if you get hit by a paintball in a paintball game? Actually, there are 2 types of paintball ammo. The first is tournament grade, which is used in tournaments and has a slightly softer shell, so it hurts less. But Look, this boy never expected that when he cut open a popcorn packet, 3 packets would come out instead of 1. 2 packets poured out popcorn along with salt.
This boy was heartbroken because his crush told him she only likes guys with beards, so he ran to the barber and begged for a miracle. The barber started drawing a shape on his face, and the boy was nervous it would look...
This grandfather gets trapped by his playful grandson, who casually points at a sugarcane seller's stand. Before he can even say a word, the vendor moves at lightning speed. The sugarcane gets chopped. It's handed to the kid.
When a glass door falls down, it doesn't break. But when a hammer falls on it, it breaks. Likewise, when a horse kicks this glass, it doesn't break. But when it falls down, it shatters. The reason is that when glass falls flat, the force spreads over...
When a dog's hair is cut, it can be used to make something you've probably used yourself.
¿Sabías que tu neumático tiene un código secreto que determina si vas a tener...
Look, this guy made a big mistake because he had to paint the whole stadium, and he was almost done with just 1 spot left in the middle. The new worker thought he couldn't get out after painting it, but the man was a pro and showed him how...
This training technique could make you into the next Usain...
Oh no, there's a tiny hole in Dad's jacket. Wait, let me stitch it quickly. Oh my goodness, the small hole just turned into a big one.
Mia, dear, hurry and secretly stick a sticker on it. Your dad bought this jacket just yesterday. If you find...
Why do trucks crash here?